Hello, hello. Peanut butter and wafers says, damn, I waited 30 minutes, bro. Still ain't in this. I'm here now. Don't you worry. Peanut butter. Alright, guys. Let's do this. So, this is something kind of new that we're going to try and do today. I'm excited. Because basically, we're going to come up with this theory together. It's not going to be a video or anything in the future. We're just going to try and solve the Egghead Island mystery, alright? And then this way, if we're correct in the end, I'll say like, hey, me and chat basically figure this out. And then if it's incorrect, I'll say, wow, you guys really fucked this up. So, it's a win-win scenario. We're going to solve the Egghead Island mystery right now, right here, right now. Real quick, does anyone think that there is no imposter? And that Lafitte and Katarina Devon are just, they're just on the island, just chilling, not bothering anybody? Because, I mean, that is a possibility, but it's a boring possibility. Phoenix Island says talk basketball. I've not done that as much this season at all. I don't think. I don't remember the last time I went in depth into anything basketball related. You want to know why? Because I'm not really watching. Yeah, I'm not watching just because the situation is the NBA right now. Well, I'm gonna bore you guys. I'll say it in like 2 sentences. I feel like stats are so ridiculously inflated now. I just don't even know what means what anymore. Like every day it's some record-breaking stat. Like almost literally every day it'll be like Luka drops like 50, 50, and 50 or something. Never been done since like Wilt Chamberlain or some shit like that. Like every day it's something. It makes no sense. I just don't know what to believe anymore. I think the simple fact that LeBron is like, I don't know, he's averaging more points now than he did in his prime, tells me that like the NBA right now it's just like some fever dream fairy tale type thing. Like I just don't know what to believe anymore. I don't know what actually has value anymore. I think I need to wait till the playoffs because I think playoffs usually things level off and like inflated scoring and stats kind of tapers off and kind of goes back to what I'm normally used to. But yeah, I need to wait for the playoffs. I don't even know what to believe about today's NBA anymore. All right, guys. Philly, thanks for being a Yonko tier member for a month. I know I got some super stick catch before we begin this whole process. Let's start with this. Thanks for being a Yonko tier member for a month. I hope you enjoyed the podcast that came out. Morge, I'm sick and not feeling well at all. I'm sorry. Stream should be a nice distraction from feeling like hell. Very excited for the new chapter, though. Do you remember when we were kids? I'm excited for a new chapter, too. I almost don't believe it's coming out because it's been so long. It's like almost difficult to believe that we're going to get a One Piece chapter again. I've stopped believing that those, exist. I feel like we've just been in limbo for a bit. You remember when we were young, kids, and being sick was like so exciting because you got to skip school, at least for a day, for no reason? And, I don't know, I just, like, it was always, like, it just doesn't, sorry, it doesn't make sense because, no matter how bad you felt as a kid to be sick, you never, there was never a point when I was sick when I was a kid where I was like, yeah, this is worse than having to be at school right now. You know what I mean? But as an adult, you definitely almost would trade anything to not be sick, in any given moment. It just sucks being sick as an adult. It's just different. I don't know. All right. So I feel bad for y'all trying to make this stream entertaining, but it's not my fault if the theory is bad at the end of the day. That's you guys' fault. All right. Timothy McQueen, thanks. All right. Oh, we got a Timothy McQueen question to start off the chat. Thanks for the 5-man. Hi, Morge. If you rank all 11 Shichibukai by prominence, I'll super chat you the answer. 11. Okay, so first I gotta figure out who all the 11 are, right? This is not in order. Mihawk, Crocodile, Doflamingo, Kuma, Hancock. Oh, sorry, Moria, then Hancock, then Jinbei was the original 11 or 7 that showed up. Then Blackbeard, then we had Buggy, then Law, and then Weevil, right? So Weevil's at the bottom. I feel like Law has got to be... I feel like Law's got to be the most prominent. So let's say Law number 1. Um, then Doflamingo. I want to say Law, then Jinbei. Law, then Jinbei, then Doflamingo. Then Kuma's probably coming up pretty fast now, right? Law, Doflamingo, Doflamingo. Law, Doflamingo, Jinbei, Kuma, Buggy. Probably Buggy and then Kuma. Maybe Kuma and then Buggy. Buggy then Kuma, Kuma then Buggy. I don't know. Then maybe Hancock. No, probably Moria, then Hancock. No. Probably Blackbeard, then Moria, then Hancock, then Mihawk, then Weevil. Wait, fuck, I missed one. Who the fuck am I missing? Crocodile. Fuck, I missed. This is difficult. Okay. Let me let me type it out for myself real quick. All right, hold on. All right, I'm gonna say Jinbei. No, sorry, Law, then Jinbei, Doflamingo, Mihawk, Hancock above Mihawk. I'd say Buggy above Blackbeard. I'd say Crocodile above Buggy. Okay, I think I got a good shot at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, Kuma. Okay. All right. We got Law, Doflamingo, Jinbei, Crocodile, Buggy, Moria, Kuma, Blackbeard, Hancock, Mihawk, Weevil. That's my guess. Let me know if I'm right. All right. Sorry that took so long, but I kind of wanted to get that right. I think I was close at least. Javon Johnson, thanks for the 5. I know this won't happen, but can you think of a way for Shanks and Mihawk to fight in the current story? The community would be insane. I need it. I don't think that's impossible. I feel like Shanks and Mihawk, like, any of the Yonko could clash at this point because they're all technically going after the One Piece. I'd say Davy Backfight's a good shot. You could even get a Davy Backfight at Elbaf or something like that. Davy Backfight, I don't think Shanks would fight Mihawk at Laugh Tale or anything. I would say maybe a Davy Backfight at Elbaf. That's my easiest guess. Alright, let's get the stream likes up to 100 real quick. Alright, catching up still. Young Smokey VP17, thanks for the 10. I was thinking Katrina was Bonnie, but now it only seems like she could be Robin or a VP satellite. What we're gonna do, for people who want to know what we're doing this stream, alright, here's the way it's gonna go. We're going to go through every chapter since 1089. 1089, I think, was when we cut back. So we're going to go through every chapter, excluding the Kuma flashback, and track every character's movements, and basically figure out who's suspicious, who's not suspicious, who makes sense as a suspect, who we can disqualify as a suspect. For example, Luffy is not a suspect, right? And we're just going to narrow it down like that. But Robin does seem likely to me. Like a good shot. If it's anybody, Robin's a good shot. That's why she got thrown in the thumbnail, for example. But a Vegapunk satellite is also the easiest little option that Oda could slip in that would be hard for us to guess at. Keenan, thanks for the 10. Do you think Oda wrote himself into a bit of a corner with making the One Piece a mystery? With 3 decades of build-up, I think it'll leave a large chunk of fans unsatisfied no matter what it is. I think it's only writing yourself into a corner if you don't have an answer, right? I think usually writing yourself into a corner refers to when you set up a situation where there's not you don't really have, you just set up an interesting conflict or mystery or, suspense to a certain development in the story that readers have a lot of anticipation for, but you didn't really fully think out what that's supposed to be. I think with Oda, he knows exactly what the One Piece is going to be from the start, and so the amount of build-up that he's giving to it, it's always going to match the answer that he has in his mind, I don't think there's been a time in One Piece that I can recall that Oda's set up, like, a significant amount of lore suspense towards something, man, and then not delivered on it. Yeah, right? I think that usually when there's a big lore reveal in One Piece, it's usually something that matches the anticipation that Oda has set up for it. So the more Oda builds up what the One Piece is, I think the more likely it is that, like, I think anytime he's adding new things to the pieces of what the One Piece is going to be, like ancient robot shit or moon related shit or Lunarians or like ancient races and stuff, I feel like it's all like he probably has the same core idea and he's just adding more pieces to it, but that's going to just make it more satisfying when all those pieces come together, because I don't think he's the type of author who's adding more pieces to his core mystery without knowing how they fit, right? So I think it's going to be hard for the One Piece to, like, of course there's ways that the One Piece could not satisfy, but I imagine that he's not writing around that just because he's already said that it's not going to be something vague like friendship or something, and the intricacy of what the One Piece ultimately has to be seems like it's something that he's really, really thought out that will answer a lot of the different aspects of the way the One Piece world is set up. So yeah, I'm not worried about that aspect of things. Yeah, I'm not really worried about the One Piece itself. I don't think. Personally, I don't think I'm too worried about the One Piece itself. Brandon King says, peep the new opening, Morge. It's peak. I've yet to do that. You know what I will do next Monday's stream? Can anyone guess? Next Monday's stream is going to be us watching. We're going to be watching Monsters. So I won't watch it. I think it comes out Sunday. When does Monsters come out? Yeah, it comes out the 21st. So I'll do a live reaction to that. I've already read like, Monsters is perfect for reaction material for me because let's get the stream likes up to 100. If we get the stream likes up to 100, I'll react to Monsters like I just said. It's perfect for me because I don't like reacting to things that I think are going to be, that I have like high investment in, that I really want to enjoy. You know, like if it's an anime that I'm actually enjoying on my own, then I don't want to be doing it for entertainment, for chat. But oh man, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, but I do already know what happens in Monsters. I've read the one shot. I read all of Oda's one shots. I do think that that Monsters is the best of Oda's one shots, but I think it's worth reading all of them because there's some really good ones, like God's Gift to the World, I believe was one, and that was a really, really good one. That was like peak comedy from Oda. It like still holds up really, really well comedy-wise from Oda. It's a fun concept. So I already know what happens in Monsters. It's not gonna be a surprise or anything. I'm down to just watch the anime adaptation because it's something that I feel like I'll enjoy moderately, but it's not something I have high investment in where it's like, oh, I really just want to zone in and watch this on my own, like in my own comfort. So I'm down to react to Monsters. But the new opening, I don't want to. I'm sure it's a good opening. I'm sure it's a great opening. I'm sure it's a great opening. I just don't feel like watching a music video, you know? Behanoid, thanks a lot. How strong do you think is Bonnie compared to the rest of the Worst Gen? I think she's below the 3 billion trio. Oh, of course. And Zoro, but above Killer. That's really difficult, because it's like, she doesn't have any feats. She beat up a Cypher Pole agent, but the Cypher Pole agent is just, it wasn't a CP9 agent even, you know? It was like I think it was CP8, if I recall. She did one-shot it, but I kind of expect any of the pre-time skip Straw Hats to one-shot a CP8 agent, you know what I mean? Question is like hockey and things like that. It's just so difficult to scale her. Because that's her only feat. I think the moment she went up against a Vice Admiral in the current Egghead storyline, right, while she was fighting the Marines, she couldn't immediately deal with the Vice Admiral, but obviously there wasn't really a fight there. So that's something to consider. Yeah, I think it's just really hard to tell. I would agree that she's obviously below the 3 billion trio and Zoro. Above Killer is a long... like, Killer damaged Kaido, you know? That's like Kid couldn't even damage Kaido. But, you know, Killer damaged Kaido. That's not anything to laugh at. Timothy McQueen with the answer sheet. So he's saying the answers were... Let's see how close I was. Okay, I think I had Law and Jinbei and Doflamingo swapped. Oh, I deleted what I wrote. I think I had Doflamingo above Jinbei, I forget. Crocodile, but yeah, I think I'm pretty. Oh, Hancock beats at Moria. Did I have Hancock above Moria? I think I overrated Blackbeard. Well, they're all really tight. Like Hancock 194, Moria 190, Blackbeard 182. They're all pretty close. Yeah, I was close-ish. Shonen Empire, thanks to the 5. Toei's going crazy with Bonnie right now. Thoughts on that? Also, I rewatched Deadpool today. Forgot they casted you as Dopinder. Dopinder? Who's Dopinder? The Bonnie stuff, look, I just don't want to talk about it right now. I saw it going around on Twitter. It is what it is. Akash Panda, thanks for the 5. Your top 5 strongest One Piece characters of all time, past and future? Prime Joyboy to Prime Kobe? If you find it interesting, maybe a stream/video topic. It's like moderately interesting, but it's like it's really difficult to predict, honestly, and it's just a really controversial one. I think, I'm not gonna lie, I think a large part of any one of these top 10 strongest all-time type things, the biggest source of controversy inherently comes from the Swordsman fans. By that I mean the Zoro, Mihawk, Ryuma fans. I think if you exclude them, then I think a lot of people are okay with certain characters being moved up and down. You know what I mean? Like, if you're like, I think Prime Whitebeard was stronger than Prime Roger or something, it might be maybe more people believe Roger's stronger than Prime Whitebeard, but it's not going to be, like, everyone can tip their hat and be like, yeah, that's a respectable opinion. Like, I disagree, I've got Roger above Whitebeard or something, and, some people might be like, this Vivre card or whatever, but it's not great. Like, no one's going to go nuts if you're like, I got, like, Joyboy 1, Im 2, Roger 3, Whitebeard 4, and if you shuffle it around a bit, you're like, well, I got Garp above Whitebeard or something, or, I don't know, like, a lot of the slots, if you think Prime Blackbeard at the end of the story is going to be above Roger or Whitebeard, some people might disagree, some people might agree, you don't know. Luffy, I think most people would acknowledge, would be at 1 by the end of the story, or, like, tied with Joyboy or above Emu or something, I don't know. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, you can shuffle a lot of the stuff and people are okay with it. But I think where people are going to get really there's only one group that's really going to be sensitive about the whole thing, which is like, if you ask a Shanks fan, right, if they're okay with Shanks being, hey, top 10 list all time, Shanks is going to be like, he's going to be lower than, like, Roger, Whitebeard, Garp, Blackbeard, Luffy. If you tell Shanks fans something like that, they'll just be like, okay, like, they might disagree, but they're not going to call you crazy for it. But if you make, like, a top 10 list and then you don't include, like, Ryuma at number 2, or, like, number 3, or, like, number 4, then a certain fandom is going to go fucking insane and be like, Ryuma should be top 2 all time, or Zoro should be top 2 all time. That's, like, an opinion, right? That's, like, an opinion that a lot of people have. Zoro will be top 2 all time, or third, or something like that, or top 5 at least. If you don't have Mihawk, but you have Shanks in there, Mihawk fans will go insane. Some people will go insane if you don't have Mihawk above Roger, because Roger was also Swordsman. So there's just like one, if you could do a top 10 all-time list and exclude the Swordsman, I think that's like a fun little project to do. Where I think for the most part people won't be that angry, Like, I think, like, with the top 10 thing, like, I think I could even go so far as to be like, yeah, if I went ahead and put Prime Kobe above, like, Prime Garp or Prime Whitebeard, a lot of people might be like, that's kind of crazy. But you can at least see where, like, I think people could at least understand where you're coming from. I don't personally put Kobe there, but I'm like, you can see, like, it's projections, right? It's like, there's a lot of flexibility. But as soon as you get to, like, I think people would have more lenience with a lot of these characters. Like, maybe I could see that or something, right? As soon as you get to the Swordsman, people are going to be very, very upset and very, very triggered by anything less than, like, absolute top ranks, because it's just, they view the story through a whole different lens. So that's why we can't do that ever, most likely, in my opinion. I think we all know that that's just the way it is, right? It's just the way it is. Young Smokey VP 17, thanks for the 20. I was thinking Katrina's was Bonnie that fell through. Yeah, I think a lot of us said Katrina as Bonnie initially, but then that was quickly disproven. It's kind of funny to think about now, but shit. But Robin is my second choice. I'm afraid the Blackbeard parts stole the researchers fleeing and left like Oda is trolling us. Yeah, well, I think Robin's a difficult one to pin down just because she's pretty quiet. She doesn't get a lot of dialogue in general. So she's one of the easiest Straw Hats to blend in as. Very non-reactive, very nondescript in a lot of her emotions. And if I remember, she was injured or something from what we saw. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye out on Robin. We're going to, again, for those of you just tuning in, we're going to be going through the manga from 1089 to the last few chapters, right? We're going to skip Kuma's backstory, but basically we're going to be covering about a stretch of 5 chapters, and we're just going to go through and track each Straw Hat like we're detectives, or private eyes, essentially. Fun fact, I would have loved to have been a detective if among my top career choices, I wanted to be a detective, just because I watched detective TV shows growing up, and I read a lot of Hercule Poirot books. But where was I going with this? We're going to detective the shit out of this. And we're just going to go through, and each Straw Hat, and each Vegapunk satellite, and even CP0, they're all going to be suspects in our book. And we're just going to break down, who's who. Breezy2X brings up, what if nobody's an imposter? Then that doesn't matter. We need the case solved. So somebody's getting locked up. I don't care. If we need to force a confession, in the name of justice, we'll do it. But somebody is being named an imposter by the end of all this. That's for sure. Somebody's going down for this. Young Smoky VP17. Thanks for the 20 again, man. Thank you. I really appreciate it. What if the Blackbeard pirates were only after the researchers on that ship and they dipped out? Or what if they were only after the green blood? Shit, that is very, very possible. I don't know. I like to believe that the Blackbeard pirates make a bigger splash than that, although the green blood is obviously valuable, but I like to believe that they make a bigger splash in the arc than that, and I do think that Oda very often, he saves the Blackbeard pirates for a big reveal at the end of an arc, like, aha, it was us all along or something. Really, Marineford was when he did that, but you know what I mean, it's more of an impact if it's kind of a surprise towards the end that they have a bigger role than expected. Mr. Bushido 56, thanks a lot. Crazy take. I think Lucci beats Zoro. Someone will activate those magnetic boots they're wearing, throwing Zoro off. Oh, that's an interesting point. I forgot about the magnetic boots. P.S. Carrot is absorbed by Caribou. I don't think that that's beating Zoro, though. I think that that's Zoro not succeeding, but due to outside circumstances, P.S. Carrot is absorbed by Caribou. I don't think Carrot is in Caribou. I feel like Caribou would have revealed that he had a hostage earlier than that. Well, why would he have Carrot? I just don't even know how to respond to that. Why would he have Carrot all this time? Deshaun McKenzie, thanks for the 5. I'm 8 minutes behind, so looking forward to seeing this late. Do you think we'll get an insane imposter twist, or is Oda cooking something we don't expect? Isn't that the same thing? Unless you mean I feel like that's similar to the okay, you're saying Oda is doing a red herring with the whole imposter thing. There's not actually an imposter, and instead it'll just be some other way that Katarina and Lafitte are going to play a role here. I think that's possible as well. There doesn't have to be an imposter, but for the purposes of this stream, there does have to be an imposter, so just keep that in mind. Banner, thanks a lot. I watched one of the recent Morgecasts. For those of you who don't know, the Morgecasts are podcasts that come out for Yonko tier members, either in YouTube members or Patreon members. Yonko tier members, they get a weekly podcast where I share all of my thoughts that I don't share in videos, chapter reviews, streams, or anything like that. Tend to be the most stream of consciously and speculative and sometimes polarizing thoughts that I have, basically, that I don't share in other places. And about Mihawk being a former God Knight, I could see it because all the crosses, but he's never siding with them, LMAO. I could definitely see, people are saying, what if Mihawk's from the Neurona line? Sure. Fucking Shanks is a Celestial Dragon. Anyone can be a Celestial Dragon at this point. Does it matter in terms of the context of the final story? Or the final conflict? I don't think so that much. I don't think we're going to get a scenario where Mihawk is on the side of the world government fighting against pirates. It just doesn't... It would mean that essentially the entire character of Mihawk that we've read about so far doesn't matter, right? Because everything that we've read about him so far suggests that he's he is his own person through and through. He does not like the world government. He was a fucking former Marine hunter, of all things, in the first place. The only known Marine hunter in the entire story, which is really fucking badass. There's only one guy out of out of all the pirates in One Piece, there's only one dude who actively was like, I'm the, you know, like, you guys are my, yeah, I guess you guys are my prey, essentially. Like, normally Marines prey on pirates. Mihawk was like, no, I hunt you. That's the way that this works. I just don't, like, why would he be on the Celestial Dragon's side at the end of the story? It would also mean that his entire bond with Zoro, and even Perona that he built over the 2 years, is essentially meaningless or hollow. It was just, I don't know. It was just purely a plot thing for Zoro to get stronger. The actual character writing of Mihawk never mattered. Mr. Bushido 56, thanks a lot. We will go to G14. We will go to G14 because Punk Hazard Kid's next, not Elbaf. I'm okay with that because then we could see Smoker. So I'm on board. Assuming Smoker's still there. Frederico Barros, thank you very, very much. Hey, Morge, you beautiful bastard. Thank you. I have 2 separate questions. First, you think Bonnie could rejuvenate the giant robot to its prime? I don't know about that. I don't know if she needs to, because the giant robot, it seems to be doing pretty well as is. It woke up and everything. Lastly, what do you think of Luffy and Bonnie aging something back, like, centuries? That seems kind of nuts, but you never know with Awakening and stuff like that. What do I think of Luffy having a hybrid Nika form? Shit, yeah, the Nika fruit doesn't really work the same way as other Zoans. But let's think through the Zoans that we know of so far, right? Like, Kaido obviously has a hybrid form, but Marco with his Phoenix Zone, there's no real hybrid form that we see with Marco. It's kind of just, you know, he either semi... Okay, obviously he can turn part of his body into Phoenix and other parts keep it human. But that's not the same as what we usually see with hybrid forms. Hybrid form is usually like a combination, not just a turning certain body parts in isolation into the Zoan form, you know? So, I mean, Sengoku, we also don't really know if we've seen his hybrid form or not. I feel like it's possible that with some Zoan fruits, like Orochi, no hybrid form. Yamato, we did get hybrid form. I think it's just possible with some Zoan fruits that there's a bit of an overlap between, like, sometimes they just don't have a hybrid form, but you might get more of an overlap between their innate abilities and their human abilities. So for example, Orochi in human form, you can cut off his head, but his head will grow back, right? Suggesting that he maintains the Orochi mythical Zoan ability even in human form, kind of like Luffy, even in human form, still gets rubber powers. So I think that's something to consider. Now that we know it's a Zoan, maybe we haven't seen its full potential yet. That's also probably true. But at the same time, I feel like the abilities that we've seen so far, it's kind of like, at least in terms of imagination, it has unlimited potential. So I don't really know if we need to see a new form for the Nika Luffy or anything like that. I think it's just more so Luffy using it better and better, in my opinion. Akash Panda says, if not a future topic, give me your top 10 now. No, because I think people will get upset. I think people will get upset. I think people will, and specifically a certain group of people. If you're a Zoro fan or a Mihawk fan, there's no way I can give a top 10 unless I like just put Zoro top 3, 4, or 5 like you guys want, and like Mihawk like one slot underneath him like you guys want, which I'm just not gonna do because I don't believe that that's the case, right? There's just no point. And even if you guys don't accept that, then you guys are gonna be like, well, Ryuma needs to be top 3, 4, or 5, and I'm like, why? Why does Ryuma need to be top? Why does Ryuma need to be above Roger or Whitebeard? Like, what? I just don't know why certain things, like, and I've already gone too far probably, right? Maybe he was, but at the same time, we really know nothing about the guy, you know? We just know that in Wano, he was a legend, and he was scary enough that the Marines stayed away from there for a long time, but the Marines always also fucking stay away from the Giants, and the Giants are fucking pushovers, you know? Like, not everything, like, Ryuma might be top 3, by the way. Like, he could be top 3. We just don't know. So I'm not just going to put him there for no reason, you know? I do have Ryuma obviously above Mihawk. And, But that's just scaling amongst the swordsmen. You know, I think Ryuma's probably the strongest swordsman that ever lived. But then it's like, well, does that make him stronger than Roger? And it's like, well, we don't know if Roger's whatever. Like, I don't know. There's no point. Breezy2x, thanks for the 2. End of story, Zoro or Roger in a fight. I fucking hate you guys. Fuck off. God damn it. There's no answer. Leave me alone. Ignorant Weed says, would you rank Straw Hat's attacks for a stream? That's a fun idea. There we go. That's a fun idea. Yes. Straw Hat attacks tier list. I'm down to do that. That's a fun one. Bad Magic says Ryuma is one of 2 people to have a Black Blade. This fucking stupid ass Black Blade shit that Oda wrote in out of the blue has people basically putting Ryuma and Mihawk as above every other fucking pirate that's actually been hyped and actually had story, you know, build up throughout the fucking 1100 chapters. It's just like, well, Black Blades trump literally all the other writing that Oda has done. It's like, oh my fucking god. All right. All right. Mr. Bushido 56, he doesn't know Carrot is in him. She was hiding in a barrel. Why would Carrot do that when she's supposed to be like leading Zoe or some shit? Great Piece says, who is her that Saturn said Joy Boy didn't see? I don't know what that's referring to. I don't know who that is. Stormy says Bajrang number 1, of course. Yeah. I got Bajrang number 1. I'll give a bone to Zoro fans. I think Zoro's Ashura attack is arguably number 2. Because it did the second most damage to Kaido out of any attack over the course of, the rooftop battle. And, like, pretty much since Kaido fought Odin. It seems like it's the attack that did the most damage to him since then. So that's something to consider. And, like, people are always like, oh, well, Kaido didn't fight a strong swordsman besides Zoro, so, like, since Odin, so how big of a deal is that scar? It's like, you fucking illiterate motherfuckers. Kaido fought Big Mom, another there was, like, what the fuck are you talking about? He fought Big Mom, who was using a sword for literally, like a full 24 hours or something like that. He did not get a permanent scar from fighting her. There is no way you can underplay the Zoro scar, right? That is, in one moment, Zoro got a better feat than Big Mom did fighting Kaido for, like, a full, like, 2 days, however long it was. Like, who coming in saying, like, oh, the scar's not a big deal because, you know, Kaido hasn't fought a strong swordsman. It's like, in the fucking, like, 2 days before this shit happened, he was fighting, like, top 3-4 strongest swordsmen in the world, right? Another fucking Yonko. What the fuck are you talking about? Breezy2x says, thanks for the 2. Just rank the top 10 swordsmen of all time then. Okay, if I have to guess, I think end of story, top 10 swordsmen of all time would be something like... No, because then people are going to get mad about definitions of a swordsman, right? Because it's like, if I don't put Roger in there, then people will be like, oh, you don't think Roger's a swordsman, so then you don't think Shanks is, so then you think, like, this. You don't believe Mihawk's stronger than Roger? Are you insane? You don't think Mihawk's stronger than Roger? With all of the hype that Mihawk has compared to all of the hype Roger has. even though Mihawk has very, very little to no hype compared to Roger, Mihawk has a Black Blade, which means he's above Roger. I don't know. It's just, you can already see the rabbit hole it goes down. Alright. No, I think Big Mom is equal to Kaido. It's just that Zoro clearly surpassed her in swordsmanship the moment that he scarred Kaido. Teddy says you're assuming Big Mom was fighting Kaido seriously or vice versa. No, I'm not assuming, because assuming is basically just me putting out my own bullshit based on nothing. I'm going based off of the literal words in the story, which is that Kaido and Big Mom were fighting to the death. You guys get confused in that they made an alliance later on down the line, which means that they weren't you assume that means, this is your assumption, that means that they weren't trying to fight to the death in the first place. That is not true. Literally every single piece of dialogue in the fucking story, from outside characters to Kaido and Big Mom themselves, established that they were trying to kill each other. At some point, during the course of the fight, which was established to be a stalemate, They realized that they would be better off setting their differences aside to try and attack the world government, but they also made it clear in that same panel when they said that as soon as that's over, they're going to get back to trying to kill each other. They were trying to kill each other. There is no fucking way you can spin it to argue that they were not trying to kill each other in that fight. It would require tremendous amounts of like I don't even know what, like, it's not even headcanon, because like headcanon is trying to fill in the gaps, but there's no gaps, right? Like, there's no information that we don't know here about their intent. We know what their intent is because it was told to us 50 different ways. All right, let's keep moving along. Let's actually get to the point of the stream. Yeah, so I mean, like, I've got whatever Zoro did to Kaido above, like, whatever the fuck Elbaf Cannon's Big Mom must have been doing against Kaido. Okay. Orlando Gatanu, welcome to the Pirate King tier. Feel free to go check out the Pirate King podcast that came out, well, not recently now it's been a couple weeks, but it's an hour plus long podcast that covers just a whole bunch of shit. One Piece related, not One Piece related, comparing to other series, talking about other series, talking about how stories end, etc., stuff like that. Alright. Loud Waffle says, Morge can't tell me what I read was wrong because I can't read. Checkmate. That is a good checkmate. You did get me there. Okay. Alright. Alright. Kelvin says it's like Zoro and Sanji when they said they kill each other. If you think Kaido and Big Mom have a Zoro and Sanji relationship, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. You think they're like Zoro and Sachi? Like they actually legitimately love and care for each other? Banner, thanks a lot. Last dono, Shanks, future president of global superpower, hanging out with a random kid who then turns out to be okay, hold on. Future president of global superpower, hanging out with a random kid who then turns out to be second coming of Christ, who will lead an anti-fascist revolution is very funny to me. That is a fun way to frame the whole series of events. I would agree. Alright, let's get the stream likes to 200 real quick. It is time to begin the detective work. Oh, wait. There's one thing we gotta do first real quick. We gotta vote on some new emotes. This will only take a second. I don't know why I'm phrasing it like it's a chore. You guys should be happy to get some new emotes. You guys have been looking at the same emotes for God knows how long. Unless I can't find this. If I can't find it in Google Drive, then we might not be able to do it. Emotes. Where the fuck are the emotes? Where are the emotes? I can't find the emotes. I don't know where the emotes are, man. Shit. Okay, hold on. Let me try one more time. Where are the emotes? Okay, next stream we'll do new emotes. We'll even swap out some of the I've noticed some emotes have gone out of style a little bit. For example, who uses Morgius emote anymore? Members in chat, please use the Morgius emote because I just want a reminder of what it looks like. It has not been used in some time. Megazord says, is it time to get paint ready? Of course it is. Although for this one, shit, do we want to use paint or do we want to use Excel? Not Excel, you know what I mean, Google Sheets. I still think of it as Excel. I think Excel or Google Sheets might be slightly better for this. Ancrust, thanks for being a Pirate King tier member for 5 months. Hi, Morge. Any chance you've read the new Chainsaw Man? Last chapter was nuts. Last few chapters have been a big improvement in my opinion. Please read Fire Punch and catch up on Undead Unluck. I will read Fire Punch by next stream. Let me make it my goal to do that. Because I've really been I've just been seeing some random Fire Punch shit recently. And I don't want to get spoiled on the series. I don't know why it's just been seen, out in the blue. There's been Fire Punch shit. Chainsaw Man. Okay, so yesterday, 2 days, I read the last 3 Chainsaw Man chapters. I kind of binged them in a row. And I didn't really process, because it'd been a bit of a time since I'd caught up, since I saw everything that was happening before. So I can tell that some shit happened, but I need to I need to go back and reread the entire last 15 chapters, really, since this current event, or I suppose this arc began, to just put everything in context, because, yeah, I basically skimmed the fuck out of them. I was also not sober, So I don't know. Like, I understand what happened was a big deal, but it didn't really hit me. Like, exactly what. Like, I get that some shit's going down, and that this is an important character moment for Denji and all that. But, yeah, I don't have the best commentary on it at the moment. I will reread and get back to you, and I'll also read Undead. No, not Undead Unluck. Fire Punch. Undead Unluck, I might read. I do want to catch up on it, but it's just at this point I got to catch up on probably like I don't know, like 50 chapters or something, maybe more, which is a hefty amount. Ignorant Weed, thanks for the 5. I think I heard this from Rogers Base. Blackbeard's ship that will land at Egghead was stolen by Perona and Moria, who was saved by Kobe. What? Can anyone clarify what this is? Yes, we got the Morgius. We might cut Morgius from the emote lineup just because we've got like it's been too long since like I feel like Morgan time is no, we'll keep Morgan time just for old time's sake. We'll keep it for old time's sake, but we might cut one or two. We'll see. We might cut and replace. I don't know. But we will add some new emotes for sure. Blackbeard's ship that will land at Egghead was stolen by Perona and Moria, who was saved by Kobe. I don't even. Can someone clarify what this means? Moria stole Black. You saying that it's Moria's ship that's approaching the island? That would change things. Insatiable Hunger, thanks for the 5. It's shown when body ages someone, their mind ages as well. The Marines at SAB couldn't talk, only cry as toddlers. The old couldn't remember. Yeah, and that is an important point in the context of... Okay, so it's an important point, technically speaking, in the context of the whole Bonnie's own age thing and how that's presented. And I'm going to be honest, I thought the anime was going to tone stuff down, but it's the fucking anime, so it tones it up. At least that's from the Twitter... I saw Twitter GIFs go around, or like screenshots and GIFs. Mostly Sandman stuff. He's making sure to really dig in to make sure that it's known what's going on. Yeah, I feel like, I don't know. It would be nice if Oda gives some clarification, but it's also just, it's such a messy thing. Like, even if she ages up your mind, it's still just, we're not going to talk about it right now. We're just not going to talk about it. That's the answer. We'll talk about it at some point. I still don't know what at some point means, but some point. Let's see if Oda does it again in the manga. Let's see, because so far, he has not drawn, since it's been confirmed what Bonnie's actual age is, Bonnie has not been drawn in a sexual manner in the manga that I can recall. I'm pretty sure. So, let's just see and hope that that trend continues. Okay, let's keep going. Let's get the stream likes up to 200. So we're not going to do emotes right now, because I don't know why I can't find them. Oh, wait. Maybe it's because it's emojis. It's under emojis. Emojis, that's what it's called. All right. Hold on. What the fuck? Okay, we can't do this. Hold on. Wait, what? What is this? Give me a second here. Some of this stuff is blank. What is going on? All right, I have to ask some questions to my editor, and then we'll do this again next time. All right. Let's keep going. Oh, are spoilers out? All right. As long as the spoilers don't reveal anything about who the imposter is, I think we just we proceed as planned. You know? Well, either way, don't post spoilers, but especially don't post spoilers if it's related to this. All right, first of all, do we do Microsoft Paint or do we do Google Sheets? I think this might be a Google Sheets one. I feel like this might be a Google Sheets one. I don't know. We might need to pull out the Google Sheets for this. Insatiable Hunger, thanks for the 5. What I'd love to see is if Bonnie can fuse 2 or more future minds, imagining fusing a salesman, psychologist, actor, ultimate manipulator. I don't think she can. I think it's broken enough as is what she can do, which is just imagine a future that's possible, technically speaking, and then gain that ability. That's already insane, you know? I think that if she could start fusing things together, that's ridiculous. That's just like the ultimate being, you know? I think what she's got already is one of the best powers you could ever have in One Piece. Yeah, one of the best powers, period. So I think it's better, like, let's explore this first, because we've only kind of hit the tip of the iceberg first before we start getting into, like, well, what if she could even do this, you know? Green Princess, thanks for the 5. Morge, I love your streams, but when they end, I feel an unbearable sadness, so I'll be leaving a little early tonight. BTW, what did you think of last Pokemon Adventures? The last Pokemon Adventures... Shit, we talked about this last time. I'm a big fan of the character Gold. I think Gold is the second best written character protagonist in all Pokemon Adventures. So, yeah, the series is still really, really good. You know? Jordan Van says, dude, Google Sheets all the way, it's much cleaner. Yeah, but we're not accountants here, you know? We're not accountants. This is about creativity and letting ideas flow. And, you know, I just think that I feel like Microsoft Paint is more visually pleasing to the viewers. You know, I feel like it's got more character and soul to it. Whereas Google Sheets, it feels like, you know, we're looking at, you know, like just crunching numbers and shit like that. You know what I mean? All right, let's do a poll. Although I will say that I think that for this specifically, because the way we're doing it is we're going to list a shit ton of characters, and then, like, if we were trying to actually do a really good job, we would do Google Sheets. You know what I mean? If we're trying to do a really good job. Not that we're not trying to do a good job, but I'm saying if we're trying to do a really good job. Not that we're not trying to do a really good job, but I'm just saying, like, if we were trying to do like a really, 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 really good job, you know? Not that we're not trying to do that, but you guys understand what I'm saying, right? But just imagine, like, perfect right here is Google Sheets, but, like, messy but with soul is right here, and that's Microsoft Paint, you know? That's basically the way it is. Paint's gonna win in the poll, obviously, says Breezy2X. Yeah, but, you know, this way I feel less like a dictator. Alright. Google Sheets or Microsoft Paint? All right, so I'll give it a 5-10 count. Also, let's get the stream likes up to 200 real quick. All right, looks like Microsoft Paint wins. I fucking hate using Microsoft Paint's UI though. UX, UI. Is it UX or UI? It's the same thing, right? Yeah. So I was happy in my heart, but at the same time I felt pain because it would be so much easier to do this with Google Sheets, guys. All right, we're doing Microsoft Paint. I don't even know why I argued in favor of it. I think I just like the visual of Microsoft Paint, but I hate having to use it myself. So it's basically shooting myself in the foot every time I encourage you guys to vote for it. All right. Let's do this. Everything's good here. Wait a second. Yeah, I think everything's good here. Okay. And Did I change the layout of this or anything? I forget. No, I think this layout's correct, right? Because you guys can see my face should be in the top right corner right now, right? Okay. Jordan Vance's who would vote against Soul Lol Rig Poll. The other options labeled perfection. I gave them both really good sounding names. One is literally perfection. UX means user experience. Yeah, but what's UI? Isn't that user interface? Isn't that fairly similar? Okay. All right. Solving the mystery. It's time to do it. All right, let's just pretty this up in the meantime. Let's make this look real good. Let's put all the greatest detectives here. All right. Fuck. If I look up Sherlock Holmes, it just shows Benedict Cumberbatch. And I kind of enjoy. I actually really liked that show for like 2 seasons, and then I think I stopped liking it. But we need like the classic Sherlock Holmes. You know what? No, we'll pull Hercule Poirot. Let's do that. Is Rob Gucci stronger than Sanji? Let's see how Zoro versus Lucci plays out first. Let's see how that one plays out. No one is an imposter has to be one of the options. No, we are locking up somebody for this no matter what. The stream has to end with someone being chosen as the imposter. All right? There is no option for everybody's in the clear. All right? We are throwing someone behind bars, whether it's the just thing to do or not. All right? Because it's better to let... It's just more fun to pick an imposter. You know what I mean? Could have said something about justice, but it's just more fun to pick an imposter. All right. All right. Can I paste this? Why can't I drag images? Hold on. Why is this not? Okay. Yeah, okay. Alright, it works. Alright. This will just be right down over here. Alright, so we have, this sets the tone. This is all about solving crimes, alright? Nick says, haven't you done this exact stream before? No. We've done, we did it back when it was the previous mystery of trying to figure out who was the person killing people on the island, right? That turned out to be York. This one is different. This is trying to figure out who's Katerina Devon, which is very different. Okay. Alright. So, moving things along. Oh, wait, shit. Hold on. We gotta list all the people. Who are all the suspects, right? I think we see all the suspects here. Alright, so step number 1 in solving any crime. You need the suspects, okay? So I think we got all the suspects right here, right? Probably. Okay. The suspects. Wait, the lineup. Let's say that. Sounds detective-y. Alright. Okay. So we've got Luffy, Zoro, Nami. We got all the strides, right? All right. Does this cover everybody? I feel like this doesn't cover everybody. I feel like next chapter will give us a better view. Bonnie, there's no... Okay, some characters there's no point in putting down now, right? Okay, let's get rid of the characters we know aren't it, right? Luffy, it's a no. Zoro is a no because he's using hockey and shit and fighting Lucci. Nami, Usopp, Sanji, Chopper, Robin. I think Frankie's a clear no at this point because he did that thing with his arm. Brook, I forget. Jinbei, I forget. Alright, moving on. I think the Stella Vegapunk is a no, right? But other Vegapunk bodies are still in there. I think next chapter will give us a better view. Let's see. Okay, what are people doing next chapter? This chapter. Alright, okay, this is... Didn't Atlas die? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Did Atlas die? I think, didn't Saturn kill her? I think Saturn killed her. Lilith is still around, right? Lilith is still around. Lucci, I think, is a no, because Lucci's doing Lucci things. Yeah, so we got Lilith. Who's still around? Somebody tell me who I'm missing. Stussy is a no. I'll throw in Stussy. Who knows? Kazar's an imposter because he got washed. Lilith, Stussy, Kaku, right? Am I missing any other Vegapunk bodies? Edison? Alright, I'm gonna be honest, I forget which Vegapunks are which. I mean, Edison's the little one, right? Okay, I think we got our suspects here. So, first things first. Do we go back in time a tiny bit? Let's get the stream likes to 200. Do we go back in time a tiny bit to what they were up to before all of this shit went down? I just want to take a quick peek. What were they doing before this? I think, like, if we go back to 1070 something, right? They were all split up. They were all up to stuff, right? So these guys are fighting the Seraphims. We got... That's Group A, let's just say. Vegapunk's doing Vegapunk things. Oh, this is when this happens. Saturn's the imposter. Sentomaru's not an imposter. No need to put him down. These guys are still fighting. Okay. Nice shot. So Nami, Brook, and... Okay. Nami knows... Okay, so up to this point. Okay, so one group is fighting Seraphim Jinbei, and they get saved by Sanji, right? So that's what happens over there. Then one group is fighting Seraphim Hancock. That's the Frankie, Usopp, Lilith group. So anything can kind of happen here, right? There's a lot of possibilities for here because they get turned to stone. Why can't it be Brook? Okay, so this shit's going down. Okay, and then we got Robin, Chopper, and Atlas over here. Alright. Cool. And then I'm pretty sure around here we cut away. Okay? So, we're mostly up to speed. Let's get back to figuring shit out. Didn't Robin disappear for a bit, too? Didn't Robin disappear for a bit? Did she disappear for a bit? She was saying, I feel like whatever happened had to have happened after we cut away. What was Robin doing, though? I don't think Robin was doing anything suspicious here, right? I kind of just assumed that this is just establishing where people were. Where's Robin's shit? Okay. What Robin's saying here seems like Robin-type stuff to say. If Nami screams, you know there's someone who will be there in a heartbeat. Any team currently fighting will be locked in combat. Like, this seems like Robin-type stuff to say, right? Okay, we're gonna cut back to the present. Young Smokey VP20. Thanks for the 20. What if someone... No, Young Smokey VP17, thanks for the 20. That's the full sentence. What if somehow Katarina saved York and took her place? That would be a twist. Also, now that I think about it, Lilith is looking funny now. I don't know about that because, like, Katarina's or York's discussion with... York's discussion seems very specific that she has with the 5 elders. Like, let's see. 1089. Right, the things that York is saying here seem to be specific. Like, she knows the backstory of this stuff. Unless Katarina like squeezed it out of her, but who knows? Okay. All right. So we know it's not Luffy, right? We know it's not Luffy. This all seems fine. This seems fine. Okay. Robin is giving Luffy advice here, some counsel on how not to act, but Katarina Devon's like a Blackbeard pirate, she probably is smart enough to be able to explain that stuff too. Usopp's getting mad. That's in character for Usopp. Okay. So out of the characters here, Robin is injured, right? Let's start putting some notes down, all right? Acting in character, getting angry about shit so far. Acting in character, scared about shit. Mysteriously injured. Mysteriously injured. Tom C says it was probably S-Hawk that attacked Robin because he ran off from Luffy-Zoro fight for some reason. That would make sense. I wonder if we're ever going to get it covered what happened during that night. Are you feeling okay, Robin asked Chopper. That's an in-character thing for Chopper to ask. Chopper would be hard to hide any sort of, like, trickery just because he's a doctor, right? So he's got a lot of, like, if you're Katarina Devon and you like decide to impersonate a member of the crew and it turns out to be the fucking doctor, and then everyone's asking you to heal them, you probably realize right then that you got an in over your head. Not really an ostrich, thanks for the 5. What if Katarina switched overnight? Any fishy stuff would have to be evaluated after the time skip, and we can't use acting in character before that. Yeah, so in my opinion, whenever the switch happened, it was overnight. That's my guess. The only reason I went back to look is just to see where characters were situated at prior to stuff going down, right? So if we were to group things up real quick, before time skip, before overnight skip, right? Luffy, Zoro, Lucci, Kaku fighting Pacifista, right? Or fighting, they're all Pacifista, right? Fighting S Bear / S Hawk. Then you had what? Sanji, Nami. Who were the ones with her? Sanji, Nami. Okay, it was. I know it was Usopp, Frankie. I want to say Lilith. Versus S Snake, right? And Robin, Chopper. Come on, man. I feel like we just saw these. I can't believe I forgot them already. Yeah. Oh, sorry. It was Usopp. Was I close on that? Usopp, Frankie, Lilith versus S Snake. Was I missing someone here? Usopp, Frankie, Lilith versus S Snake. Yeah, Frankie. Sorry, Brooke, Sanji, Nami, and Edison. Brooke, Sanji, Nami, Edison here. Sanji, Nami, Edison, Brooke fighting S Shark, Robin, Chopper, and Atlas, right? We're on their own. And then Stussy was with Jinbei. Stussy with Jinbei doing nothing of use. The Goat is asking, do I think Shanks and Luffy fight on Elbaf? I think so. I think that's the perfect place for it to happen. Yeah. And then Robin, Chopper, and Atlas just doing stuff. Okay. Cool, cool. All right. Let's get back to the present. Now that we got everything situated. Okay. Am I missing anything here? Robin, Chopper, Atlas, just chatting. Okay. No, don't talk about leaks. I see some people bringing up leaks. Don't talk about leaks, please. Yeah, let's get the stream likes up to 200. Hattori should be on that list. True. Was Hattori there? Well, I don't know. Let's see. Is the bird missing right now? Can anyone confirm, was Hattori there? Was Hattori with the fighting group of let's see. I don't know if Katarina Devon can turn into Hattori. That'd be pretty funny. We got Luffy, Lucci fighting here. Kaku, Zoro. Man, I really was thinking that this fight would lead to something. Some revelation about Advanced Conquerors or something like that. Yeah, I'm not seeing Hattori personally. Not seeing Hattori. Hattori whereabouts unknown. Still no Hattori. Alright, Hattori whereabouts unknown. Alright, good to know. Okay. Loud Waffle says, shit, would copying Saturn for the Seraphim work? What do you mean? Jamari Cruz says, Strahd took Vegapunk, Blackbeard will also take York, which has access to the Seraphim. So I do think that there's a decent chance of Blackbeard getting his hands on York, just because I feel like if the world government gets York, it leaves a weird tone with Egghead Island, because Egghead Island feels like it's supposed to be a giant, like, fuck you arc to the world government, you know what I mean? Like a giant middle finger arc. Like, they're gonna kick Saturn's ass, you know, fuck up all of the world government's research funding and everything like that. Get away with basically doing whatever the fuck they wanted at Egghead Island, I feel. I feel like the world government succeeding in getting York seems kind of strange to me. I do think also at the same time, if the world government got York, and then suddenly it's like world government has access to infinite Mother Flames, they kind of, the world government can't really do anything against the world government after that, right? World government kind of just wins. So I feel like, yeah, I could definitely, I think the Blackbeard Pirates getting York could definitely be a good possibility. Let's throw York in there. That's a really good idea. York was with Stella. That's interesting. Okay. Stuff to consider. All right. Let's get back to the present for like the 50th time, but this time for real. Forgot about Pigeon? No, he has a name. His name's Hattori. Okay. But okay, blah, 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 blah. Robin's just being Robin, whatever. Chopper did a doctor thing asking if she's okay. Standard doctor stuff. People seem to be patched up. That's the thing. Let's put that down. Chopper. People seem to have bandages, so he's doing something. Alright. Okay. Okay, Luffy, Bonnie are fine. Nami's being in character. She's angry about shit. Okay, Jinbei's been real quiet, right? Jinbei's been real quiet so far. Okay, oh, we forgot about this. Kaku and Lucci, something's going on here, right? Talking to myself. No, but this was something like Lucci got them the information somehow, right? So, like Lucci got information over to the Marines. So that's what Lucci was doing here. Something like that, right? G-Rific says, what's the basis for there being an imposter? There just is. We just believe there is. And by we, I mean me. So we're going to try and solve it if we can. We believe, the argument is that Katarina Devon turned into one of the Straw Hats, you know? And maybe she didn't. But maybe she did. Right? So we're going to try and solve that maybe she did. Alright, so this shit doesn't matter. Be that as it may, I'm grateful to you, S-Snake. You released us from your stone powers. Wait a second, this is suspicious as fuck. Cause Usopp and Lilith were turned to stone temporarily, right? So shit could have gone down in between. They were turned to stone. They were turned to stone. I'll write that down. Was turned to stone. Was turned to stone. Frankie, it looked like almost got turned to stone, right? But Frankie has extended his arm, right? So Frankie can't be it, right? Scarcity is asking, could Lucci's bird be the imposter? It is possible. It is possible. Ginger D rants says, it's obviously Zoro because Zoro would clap Lucci. The fact that Lucci is even still alive is proof. So do you think that Katarina Devon is basically as strong as Lucci? I don't think it's Frankie, right? Because Frankie was, I don't know. Frankie, he stretched out his arm. Okay, so some shit's happening here. And the thing is, S-Snake would reveal if there was some swapping that happened or anything like that, right? Okay. See, the things that York is talking about is pretty specific. It's pointless. There's an encryption code on it. My braid isn't synced to all of yours, so you won't get it from me. I don't think that's Katarina Devon necessarily, unless she's BSing really well. Okay. Yeah, Katarina can't mimic robot arms, says Torchlight 17. As far as I can tell, I don't think it's likely. Nami, right? You're the navigator. Stella's fine. Stella's fine. Sanji is acting... Part of it is that Sanji's just been so useless in the whole Saturn situation. So I'm curious as to what he was doing in the meantime. Let's see. Okay, Usopp seems... I think Usopp's in the clear. I'm going to say was excited about Elbaf. Okay? Usopp was excited about Elbaf. That's in character enough. Was excited about Elbaf. That's a pretty big deal. Right? So, I'm kind of going to cross off... Nah, should I cross off Usopp? Is being excited about Elbaf enough to, like, exonerate Usopp? Artsy Burb says, could be nothing, but while Luffy was fighting Kizaru, Nami's tattoo was missing. Does Nami have her tattoo right now? She's got her tattoo right now. So if there's a swap, you're saying it might have happened since then. Nami is reading the poneglyph well. So she's reading the poneglyphs well. Not the poneglyphs, you know what I mean. She reads the log posts, Robin reads the poneglyphs. Reading log posts well. I'd say Usopp and Nami are close to exonerated. Usopp cross off? I'm gonna cross him off. Okay. I'm just gonna say straight up was excited about Elbaf. That's exonerating, right? I'll just leave him up crossed off for now, and then if we need to... Oh, I guess this doesn't cross off. Oh, strike through. I see. Okay. And then if we need to get some space, we'll cross him off completely. Alright, yeah, this seems like Usopp. This seems like Usopp. I think Lucci we can assume is Lucci because he's fighting evenly with... Like, Lucci and Zoro we can assume are both Lucci and Zoro because they're fighting each other, right? I don't think that they could fake that. Yeah, Frankie knows about the coup de burst. Frankie's Frankie. He wasn't even on the list in the first place. All the Vegapunks are working together here. Makes sense. Lilith knows that this is her first... She's saying this is the first time leaving the island, right? Right? This is Lilith's first time. This is like some specific information. I feel like everyone here is in the clear. What do you guys think about this? Is this exonerating? This is my first time ever leaving the island. That's what Lilith says. Oh, Wesley with an interesting point. Wesley says Katarina turned into Absalom before and he was dead. Could it be that the person has to be dead? If so, maybe Shaka / Pythagoras will appear again and be Katarina, or Stussy that took a Shigan from Lucci. That's an interesting possibility to her abilities. No, Lilith has been, like, off the island physically, obviously, but I think that she's implying that this is the first time that she's leaving the area of Egghead Island and going to some other island, you know? Yeah, I would agree. I think it's like Loud Waffle saying, I think it's a general imposter power, but, you know, could be something. Okay. So transmission from Rob Lucci. So I assume that was what Lucci was saying over here, right? To me, does that make... Okay, so let's assume that Lucci was communicating to the Marines over here, right? Right around here, right? Let's assume that Lucci was communicating to the Marines. Does that make Kaku suspicious in that Kaku doesn't seem to know what Lucci's up to? Young Smoky VP17, thanks for the 10. I think Lilith is in the clear. Is Lilith in the clear? Okay, let's put that down for her. Says she's never been off the island. I think that is... I'm going to put the less likely people up here. Let's do that. I'm going to cross her off for the moment. Let's cross her off for the moment. And if anything comes up, we'll keep an eye out. Nami's crossed off for the moment just because of the log post thing, but we'll keep an eye out. Hobby Horses just seems weird for a mythical zone to be so limited. Yeah. I think turning into anyone seems more likely. Okay. Let me just check one thing. Usopp, we kind of cleared after the Elbaf thing, right? So let's catch up to where we're at Elbaf stuff. Okay, this all seems legitimate. Everything seems over the board here. This stuff's fine. Again, it's entirely possible that the Blackbeard parts are some Marines. I don't think this is worth figuring out if they're Marines or not. Let's focus on the island. Otherwise, we just expanded too many possibilities. It's just going to be a pain in the ass to go through all of them. Jordan Vance's bet Vegapunk and them have been to Marijua, though. I think that was just the main Vegapunk, right? I think that was just the main Vegapunk. Luke Lucy says, I think it has to be Jinbei. Devon would have had time to observe him while in Impel Down as well. That's a really good point. Jinbei's also been very, very quiet, but at the same time, Jinbei's not a very talkative dude. Dick So Small I Piss on My Balls says, Vegapunk mentions York met the Celestial Dragons. If York has left to do that, I imagine Lilith would have too. That's a really good point. Let's throw that into Lilith. Okay? So, I'm going to take her off the striked off thing. But York has met Celestial Dragons. And therefore, maybe Lilith has been off island as well. Not to mention, Lilith is the second Vegapunk that was created after Shaka. So if anything, it seems as though it's very possible that Lilith would have been brought along if Vegapunk's going anywhere, right? Like, higher priority than York. Although York shits and eats and stuff for Vegapunk, so it's like, maybe he has to just bring her everywhere he goes. Who knows? Alright, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. Refill my water real quick. I'll be right back. But you guys take a look at this in the meantime. And, I guess, brainstorm. All right. Any breakthroughs? Did anyone have any major breakthroughs? Anyone figure the whole thing out? Say something crazy. Let's confuse Morge. All right. All right. Does not seem like anyone has any breakthroughs here. All right. Let's keep moving along. So, these guys are all good, all good. Yada, yada, yada. Again, we're going to leave the Vice Admirals out of this just to not overcomplicate things, but it's entirely possible that it could be a Vice Admiral. Usopp saying some generic dialogue. Well, Usopp, we already said, is cleared, right? Let's keep things straightforward, right? So Usopp's in the clear. Nami at this moment in time should probably be in the clear. Stussy was right. They sent so because Nami read the log post is fine, right? Nami read the log post is fine. She knows what Stussy said before. So Nami seems good right now. If anyone wants to tell me the panel that she's missing her tattoo, that would be great. Usopp just narrating at the moment. Vegapunk's doing Vegapunk things. We figured it's Saturn. She's the Marine that Saturn killed. Forget it, I'm Vegapunk too. Okay. Okay. Let's see. I like that Luffy and Bonnie just eat a lot. It's like I put that video talking about how Luffy and Bonnie are very similar. People are not 100% on board, but they really are. Well, I think people aren't on board 100% of like, oh, Bonnie's going to be like the successor, like who Luffy passes the Straw Hat down to. But I don't know. I feel like there's just remarkable similarities between her and Luffy. All right. Let's break down this moment. Brook has done nothing of note yet, right? To seem like he's exonerated, right? There's nothing that Brook's done so far that suggests that Brook could maybe be, just actually Brook. I see no skull jokes, no panty jokes, right? Not much from Brook. He hasn't played a song. I don't think he's even done his laugh. There's been no yo-ho-ho, you know? Stussy notices something. Stussy. Okay. Ooh, okay. Hold on. Alright, let's break this down. Stussy sacrificing herself for Vegapunk obviously makes a lot of sense. I don't think Katarina Devon would do that, right? But, flip side, Katarina Devon might be really trying to kidnap Vegapunk, which would be why she... Just don't imagine Katarina Devon doing that. Justin Holland, what's up, man? Thanks for being a Pirate King tier member for 15 months. Sanji not moving seems suspicious. I would agree. So far, Sanji's been doing the in-character stuff of, being all, Google, simping, right? That's, I guess, the word we would use for Sanji, right? He's been like that, but here's the thing. That makes sense because if Katarina Devon were to have successfully taken out Sanji, she would have seen that he's easy to defeat because he can't fight her because he's a woman, right? So she would have seen that character trait right away, right? So that's a little thing to keep in mind for Sanji, right? I'll take this Nami. Sanji uses a gun. That's not the first time Sanji's used a gun in the story because Sanji he pulled out a gun against Robin. You could argue that was like a million fucking years ago, therefore it would be out of character for him. Like, Oda might have just not been as locked in on his concept for Sanji back then. That, okay, he'll literally never use a gun. But, okay, so this is the thing. I'll take this Nami. He takes that. Captures Kaku right away. I don't know. There's no big tells from this moment. Plus, what if Blackbeard members are trying to place a mole as a prisoner of the Straw Hats or someone who could get close only to observe and report back to Blackbeard for their next move? That is an interesting idea, especially because that would imply that, we wouldn't even find out till next arc. I don't think Oda would fake us out with a Straw Hat for that long. That would feel deceptive, because we really love these characters and we like seeing their genuine bonds and dynamics with each other. But I feel like anything that's going to be revealed will be revealed by the end of this arc, but maybe that could be their plan or intent. Pat Galley, thanks for the 5. Morge, if you were isekai'd into the One Piece world, and you could take 3 things from our world to help, what would you take? Also watch Solo Leveling. I'm probably going to give Solo Leveling a try, but it's not far along, is it? Right? It's, Solo Leveling... I think it just started, right? It's only a few episodes in. Am I crazy? How many episodes? Oh, there's 12 episodes already? What? There are already 12 episodes? No, there's only 2 episodes out. Only 2 episodes out. Okay. Yeah, I'll probably watch once there's time to watch. If I could take 3 things, are those things like... I assume those are things that I can actually physically own here, right? Like, I can't take, like... like, I can't be like, okay, I'm going to the One Piece world, I'm going to take, like, an airplane or something like that, you know? Like, bring an airplane with me. I wouldn't bring an airplane, but it's just an example. Because I don't have an airplane, right? So if it's things that I own... There's nothing that I could just easily get access to that I could take to the One Piece world that would be really, really useful there, right? Computers, laptops, phones, those are things that require the require internet, so it's not useful because it doesn't exist in the One Piece world. Is there a way that I could find maybe a better method of navigation? But no, there's no real way to do that, right? No real way to do that. I'd have to roll with the log posts. Fuck. I don't know. 3 things. Like, even guns and stuff, they've got really advanced guns there. Like, they've got lasers and shit like that, right? So what 3 things would I bring? Maybe I'd bring some One Piece novels so that I could, like, do research on the world and have a lot of information when I show up there. I'd be like, I know things. Like, I tell characters, like, I know things about you. You don't even know anybody else in the world. And they'd be like, what? And I'd be like, Whitebeard, I knew that your only dream is to have a family or something like that. Like, I would just shock them with my knowledge. That's what I'd do. I'd bring One Piece information. All right, let's move it along. So Sanji, nothing out of character there other than... I feel like Sanji... I think it's would you guys agree that it's slightly out of character that Sanji didn't do anything when a woman was attacked? Like, I'm not saying he had to outspeed Lucci necessarily, because it's a surprise attack. Although, if he can react to Katakuri, Katakuri's jelly bean can't react to Lucci? I don't know. But I'm not even saying that he has to do that, right? It's a surprise attack. But as soon as he does that, don't you think that Sanji would be motivated to act first before Zoro in this situation? Against Lucci specifically, like, because what happens here, right? Lucci attacks a woman, right? Woman is injured. Sanji's first instinct, and he does this before Zoro goes after Lucci. Sanji's first instinct is shoot a bubble gun at Kaku, which is obviously logically correct because Sanji's like, well, I'll take care of you while Zoro goes after Lucci. But at the same time, it just feels, I don't know, it feels weird. Again, this could be like a nothing moment, nothing interaction. Zoro's just, like, Oda's just like, I need Zoro to fight Lucci, so this is just the way shit's gonna go down. Zoro's gonna be the one to react, but I feel like it would have been in character for Sanji to be the one that's a bit more reactive, even more than Zoro, and just a bit more like taking the initiative to like, hey, I'm gonna attack Lucci now because like that's just what he does. Like, I mean, like Sanji literally flies across. Like, Virgo attacked Tashigi, and Sanji flew all the way from like the other side of the Punk Hazard lab to attack her. Same with like, you know, like he heard the cries of Nami and he flew from like Dressrosa to out to the open ocean to fight Doflamingo. It's just, you know, he's got that instinct. I don't know. I think that's a red flag. Again, sometimes Oda's not going to think through every little interaction that much. At the end of the day, if Oda's just like, I want Zoro to fight Lucci, then this is the scenario for Zoro to fight Lucci, right? But I think that that's a red flag, personally. Didn't take initiative to attack Lucci. I mean, like, even, like, go back and look at the... Right? Like, go back, let's look at this chapter, right? The moment... Might not be this chapter, might be the next chapter. Yeah, the moment that anything happens to Nami, right? Like, Sanji's not even here. He's with a different group. And then he just shows up. You know what I mean? And it's even commented on and talked about shortly afterwards in the next chapter, I think I saw, where Robin's saying... What's Robin saying? Well, if Nami screams, we know there's someone who will be there in a heartbeat. I don't know. It's just kind of Sanji's thing, you know? Didn't take to immediately attack Lucci after he hurt Stussy. Hurt is even mild, like nearly whatever. Yeah, hurt Stussy. Okay. I don't know. Red flag that right there for me. Okay. Let's move it along. Luffy obviously in the clear. Damn, it's crazy just randomly seeing old Kuma panels with the context we have now. God damn. Kuma's story. Alright. This is not the time for that. Not the time for that. It's so much sadder seeing every Kuma panel now that we know, you know? This is kind of the first time I'm really going back through seeing the full Luffy Kizaru fight, the early parts. Can I ask something real quick? Do you guys think, was Kizaru blocking these attacks? What was he doing? Was he blocking these attacks or just kind of evading or something like that? Because a lot of people were like, oh, Luffy couldn't even hit Kizaru in the first place, so why should he be using Advanced Conqueror's Haki? He can't even hit him just yet. But to me, I kind of interpreted this as like Kizaru's blocking some Luffy attacks or something like that. I didn't know he's evading. You guys tell me what you think right there. Okay, anyway. Frankie's falling out, saying Luffy. Nothing. Okay, let's see. This is Lilith. What's Lilith saying? Frankie, Bonnie, run. The Vega Force 1's about to... This seems like some smart shit for Lilith to say, right? This seems like some logical... Like, do you think Katarina Devon is going to know off the top of her head, like, this is going to be the mechanical result of this level, of a certain level of damage happening to the Vega Force 1? Like, to me, I'm going to put this down as a pro for her, right? But she seemed to know what would happen to Vega Force 1. That it one would explode. Seems like engineering knowledge. I don't know, right? That seems pretty good. Yeah, I guess can't really tell what he's doing is the answer between Kizaru and Luffy. Alright. Okay. I forgot Bonnie got kicked. I kind of want to see this interaction again. Just because obviously neither of them are imposters, but it's just like, you know, now we know their dynamic. Look how big you are now, Bonnie. Kids these grades. Okay. See, like, people had their suspicions with so many comments like this, like Vegapunk calling Bonnie a kid, Kizaru saying this about Bonnie. Kizaru's basically trolling here, like, kids these days grow so fast. Didn't you hate Dr. Vegapunk for which? Actually, no, they didn't know that Bonnie had the age fruit right then. No, they did. Forgot about that. Okay. Didn't you hate Dr. Vegapunk? Yeah. Let's see. I'd rather not. Yeah, Kizaru's being nice to her. It's just interesting that, like, you know, how they knew each other before. Alright, let's see. So these guys that we're saying are all... We're going to say that these guys are mostly innocent for the most part. Okay, Maya says if Devon is playing Sanji, then where is real Sanji? She might get the drop on him, but how does she contain him? I mean, like, what won? The bubble guns, right? So the fake Sanji took out a bubble gun and immediately took out pretty effectively immediately took out Kaku, right? Oh, I missed something. I missed Polmao gifting 5 memberships. Shit, was this when I went to the bathroom? Oh, I'm shit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Polmao. I'm sorry about that. Bad timing, my bad. I'm sorry. I really, really appreciate the memberships, as does everybody who got their membership. Sleeping Danger, Ice Cream Gomez, Jordan Vance, Soga King, and Alaxlol. Everybody say thank you to Polmao. Shouts to Polmao. Thank you very much. Sorry. I don't know if that was when I got up or something like that, but I just missed that. My bad. I do appreciate it quite a bit. Where were we? Yeah, I think that... So the bubble gun is an easy way to dispose of Sanji. The other thing is... Katarina Devon would have a good shot at defeating Sanji because Sanji can't fight back against her. I mean, like, Black Maria and Randoms were able to capture Sanji, fairly easily. So, we all know what his weakness is, right? Yeah, just something to consider. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything else. I don't think so. Cheese Mango, thanks for the 5. Yo, Morge, how would you feel if one of the Straw Hats was an imposter for an extended period of time and Katarina travels with the crew indefinitely? I don't think I would like that, because then it's just like, the Straw Hats are supposed to feel like real family, right? I just wouldn't like realizing that, a lot of the interactions that we've been seeing between this character and this character were all fake. It would hurt something about the purity of the Straw Hats, the scenes that we get where they're just sailing around on the ocean as a group, I feel like that stuff should be sacred in a sense, in my opinion. Roy K, thank you very much, and it looks like this is your first super, so thanks Roy K. Hi Mork, been a viewer for almost 5 years now. It's a bit hard to catch the streams live because of time zones. Yeah, I understand. But I love listening to your archive streams on my way to college. Love your videos also. I'm happy that I've been able to entertain you for the last 5 years. So I appreciate you doing a super for the first time. And yeah, no worries if you can't tune in that often. It's nice to hear that you just get to tune into this while you're I guess walking to college, driving to college, whatever you do. All right, let's see. So interestingly, this is random, but this is Edison, right? What does Pythagoras look like? Pythagoras is the big guy, right? So I don't think Edison has said dialogue in a while, period. And Edison does seem like a little exhausted here, maybe because Edison is not as good at actually doing Vegapunk stuff. So Edison was having to fake it. I'm gonna put that down. I think that's a possibility. No dialogue. I think if Edison had any dialogue in the last 3 chapters, so since 1089, if Edison had any dialogue, let me know. No dialogue. Seemed tired after trying to crack code, maybe faking it? Question mark. I might as well put York down too. I feel like York is hard to York, it's just if Katarina Devon impersonated York, then what's the long-term end game for her? She's captured by Straw Hat Luffy, which is not the goal. But I guess she was just imagining that at some point she'll be able to turn herself back into Katarina Devon and run away? I don't know. Because she says, what? Damn it, no, stupid geniuses. Maybe she's not a genius? I don't know. Let's see. Okay, Kizaru gets here. Brooks still has had no dialogue. He's not said a word. Okay. Okay. All still good here. Nothing weird. Alright. Where are you going, Atlas? I'm going down below to take control of the pacifistas again. Okay, so Atlas we know is in the clear. Okay, Edison says something for the first time. But it's something pretty straightforward and generic. Little dialogue. Forgot Brooke existed. I just don't know what... Yeah, Brooke has not done... Also... Nah, whatever. Whatever. Wait, Atlas, I'll go with you. What makes you think... Okay, this is fine. This is fine. How does a grown man like you let her get... Okay. Okay, Sanji. Back to... Oh, Sanji and Jinbei, 2 prime suspects. Let's take a look at this. These are... Like, if I'm saying right now, if I've got to call somebody, I think Sanji's a good suspect. I think Jinbei's a good suspect. I don't think Stussy got herself stabbed protecting Vegapunk. I feel like that mostly removes her, unless it was something like the Blackbeard Pirates really want to capture Stussy, therefore, I don't know. Or sorry, Blackbeard Pirates really want to capture Vegapunk, therefore, like the Stella body, therefore they protected him, but that seems like a stretch. Sorry, these are characters that seem unlikely to me. And then these are characters that are a bit more likely. Kaku has been taken care of. I'm going to put him around here. Okay. Alright, this is kind of where I'm at right now. Something like this. I think Sanji and Robin seem suspicious. As does Jinbei, as could Brooke, as does Edison. Peanut, thanks for the 5. I think it's Brooke because a panel with 2 Brooks would be funny. Hi, Morge. It would be funny. Yeah, there'd be a skull joke there for sure. Okay. Alright, let's see. This is Sanji speaking. If Bonnie needs to be rescued, I'm there. That's in character. It's in character. Nothing suspicious here for Jinbei. This is the first time he's really talked in a minute. Okay. Okay. It's cute that Bonnie has fond memories of Sentomaru. Alright. Oh, I forgot. Sentomaru straight up protected Bonnie afterwards. That's sweet. When does Nami have no tattoo? Chapter 1094, page 9, no tattoo Nami. Okay, okay. So that's big, but it could also just be an error. Because so far, what's Nami been up to? Nami has not been out of sight of... Like, Nami initially was reading the log poses. Nami was reading the log poses, right? It's hard to fake that, I feel. Because the log poses are hard to read if you're not Nami, you know? Not a skilled navigator. Lafitte is a navigator, but Katarina Devon is not. Cool stuff. Okay, so Nami's here. She's using the climb attack, too. I feel like the climb attacks... That's not a weapon you can just... Like, even Nami herself couldn't just, like, pick up and use the climb attack initially. Although it was a worse version of it, obviously. Like, a prototype version, but... I don't know if you can just pull out the climb attack and use it even... You know. I don't know. Moderately... skillfully, serviceably, whatever. Okay, so this comes out. What's this? What's this happening? What's this? Is that Luffy? Yeah, this is Luffy, right? So this, for a moment I thought that was Sanji, and I was like, if Sanji's flying, then that ruins everything. But Atlas breaks out. Or Vegapunk and Atlas break out. Sanji's holding on. Sanji's holding on. He's not flying. Something to consider. If Sanji flies, then it's all over, right? Okay, now Frankie's holding on. Ramen Stain says, could the imposter be one of the Seraphim? That'd be a weird way to be an imposter, because it's just like you got yourself trapped in a bubble gun. I don't know. Yeah, it could be one of the Seraphim. That'd be quite the twist, but then it's like, what happened to the other Seraphim then? I mean, maybe one of the Seraphim has enough free will that they decided to just like go do their own thing, and then Katarina Devon was like, okay, I'll impersonate that Seraphim. Maybe the fucking Mihawk Seraphim ran off. It's just like, I don't want to follow the orders anymore. I'm leaving. Because like the Mihawk Seraphim did leave their eyesight for a bit. I don't know. It's just something random to consider. It's possible. Ray Chia says, if Nami was a fake, Zeus would know. That's also a good point. Yeah, I think Nami's low on my list, but the tattoo thing is kind of big. Partially deactivating Dome, reactivating soon. Okay, this seems like a Vegapunk thing to do. I'm going to take Edison off the list, personally. Not Edison, but... Not off the list, but like... It's hard to fake that, right? Does that exonerate Edison? I think close to. Also took down the Dome. It's kind of big in my opinion. Oh shit. No, what did I do? What have I done? No. What is this? Okay, there we go. Alright. Alright. For some reason, it's not letting me just horizontally expand this. I don't know. Alright, we got what we got. Alright, so we got that. Ignorant Weed, thanks to the 5. Sanji is clear. Uses Lady Radar Hockey to jump to Bonnie and save her from Ride Fruit. Marines, PS community wants you to react to new opening. I don't want to react to the new. I already believe that it's really good. I believe that it's a really good opening. I don't really watch the openings. I just don't. I did when I was younger. Like when I was in middle school catching up to One Piece, I did watch the openings. There were some that I really liked. Just don't remember exactly which ones were my favorite. I think I'd have to go back. Oh shit, we could do a One Piece openings ranking stream. But the thing is that wouldn't work, cause like if we did it as part of a stream topic, that could be fun. But like, cause then there's a ranking element involved. It wouldn't work for me because I would have too much nostalgia attached to the ones that I actually watched, like grew up watching. You know, once I switched over from anime to manga, then going back to watch the openings, I just wouldn't have the same attachment to it. You know, like, it's not the same when you're catching up on the series and, like, you're hooked on every single episode. I don't know. Alright, we'll consider the new opening. Maybe next time. Next time I'll be reacting to monsters, so maybe we throw in the opening as well. Because I'll just be in a reacting mood, I guess. Ramen Stains, thanks for the 5. Blackbeard could have ordered to have one captured as a bargaining chip, and Katarina Devon could have taken their place just to follow orders, easy to impersonate. That is an interesting point. Yeah, I do think that okay, we can throw Seraphim in as an option. There's just no way to prove or disprove. I think S-Hawk, I think S-Hawk would be a good bet, just because nobody really sees. Hold on. It can't be S-Snake, because S-Snake reverted the transformation on all of the Straw Hats, and she does seem to still have feelings for Luffy, right? S-Shark was fighting Sanji the whole time. It was just S-Hawk, right? S-Hawk is a good shot. I'll say S-Hawk. Mysteriously disappeared for some time. I think S-Hawk, there's a good shot. Alright. Alright, this is all good. Yeah, Sanji not flying. I don't know if that's a red flag or not. I guess Oda just didn't want to draw him flying. Or he wanted to do the gag of Sanji holding on to whatever. What's this? Is this dragon the dragon that Ryuma slayed? Kind of forgot. Or is it supposed to represent Kaido or something like that? Okay. Nothing really here. Sanji's calling for Bonnie. Calling for Bonnie. Frankie has questions. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying now about the... Yeah. So Sanji did... This is an in-character Sanji thing. That makes sense. Shit, we might have to take Sanji off the list. But did sense where Bonnie was. Okay. I'm gonna put this here. Nami with Usopp and Chopper, no tattoo. Is this the chapter? Are we in 1094? Okay. But the thing... Okay. Okay, so I see what you're saying. He gets saved. Holy shit. I forgot you could do this. Like, does she kill him here? Holy fuck. That's insane. Okay. Makes sense, yeah. Yeah, someone was asking earlier, like, how do you scale Bonnie? It's just hard to tell based on the Marine fights here. Okay. Sanji saves her. This seems in character for Sanji. Yeah, this seems in character for Sanji. Okay, Sanji might be exonerated. Sanji might be exonerated. Oh yeah, this was cool. Like everyone, this isn't a like everyone on the island freaking out about Saturn. Okay, so no tattoo here. No tattoo here. Wait, am I crazy? Who's this? Hello? Who's this? Can someone fill me in? Oh, this is Stussy, right? This is Stussy. So what would have happened? Because they were all there when Kizaru was there. Like, if it's Nami, they were all... It just doesn't make sense. Like, they were all there when... I feel like Oda just forgot to draw the tattoo. I feel like he just forgot to draw the tattoo. Patrick Kovachev says Brooke's head fell off. When's Brooke's head fall off? I must have missed that. When does Brooke's head fall off? I don't even remember the last time I saw Brooke. This is pretty sick. I feel like the anime is going to do a really good job with this. This is nuts. I forgot. Like, getting just read this again is so cool. Oh, this is how Viz did it. That's cool. That's cool. I like some once in a while Viz does cool things. Saint J Garcia Saturn. That's cool. The way they did the font. But then it's Godhead of Science Defense, which is stupid. Yeah, Sanji's having some good call-outs here. I feel like that indicates some level of observation hockey and such. Hey, this is like Sanji's dodging the jelly bean again. It's like up above, watch out. And then this laser beam, right? That's kind of like dodging the jelly bean again, right? Oh, let's get the stream likes up to 300. Okay. We're good here. Luffy beats Kizaru. Alright. Alright. Yep, okay. And now flashback begins. Or next chapter flashback begins. Anime will milk this into 10 minutes? No, this will be 2 episodes. But still, I'm sure like they will do some good stuff in it. Can someone tell me, where does Brooke's head come off? I think the tattoo was something Oda forgot. I don't know, because it's just like right before that we see we see Nami using the climate act. Unless Oda wants to say that Katarina Devon can use the climate act. Seems weird. And also Nami right before that was looking at the log posts. So unless Oda's saying Katarina Devon, like, look, at the end of the day, anything's possible. If Oda's like, oh yeah, Katarina Devon just knows how to operate Egghead Island's like dome facilities, then Katarina Devon could be fucking Edison, right? But we're trying to say like what, at least with some logical consistency, makes sense. If he says it's Nami, then sure, it's Nami. It just wouldn't make any fucking sense based on what Nami was capable of doing. Unless he's like, oh, she got swapped out right in between like some off-screen moment after they faced Kizaru, but before this shit happened. I don't know. I guess it could happen. It's just weird. It's like no one noticed. Joe Garbage says, can someone fill me in on how we know there's an imposter? We don't. We don't. Alright. Back to the present. The real present. Alright. So this scene resolved fine. I'm confused though. So Bonnie... Can someone tell me what happened here? So Bonnie... Like, she saw the memories, she forgave Vegapunk, then cut to a little bit later, and Vegapunk, the Stella body, has been captured by York, right? Where did Bonnie go during this? I don't know. Like, where did Bonnie go during this? I'm not saying Bonnie's obviously not the traitor, but, you know. The imposter is Kanjuro again. That was a cool moment. I'm sorry, Vegapunk. Oh, does it show where she went? No, I guess she just wandered off. Don't know why they split up. Yeah, Sanji can't move. So I'm just reading. It's a good chapter, right? Okay, so no new data from this chapter. So, what does this mean? I think where we're at is basically we didn't get any real any red flags we got seem to have been negated, right? Like, Lilith had a red flag of, oh, she's never been off the island, but then, you know, then Lilith... Wait, what? Oh, she seemed... Yeah, the Vega Force moment seems to indicate to me that Lilith is somewhat knowledgeable, right? Seems like some Vegapunk stuff to know. Sanji, the Lucci moment seemed out of character to me. But, the Bonnie moments, right? Him being able to sense where Bonnie is. I don't think he ever flew to Bonnie that we saw. So that's one thing to note. We never got to see Sanji flying. I think Sanji flying would immediately exonerate him. Edison, but raise the dome, right? Raise the dome, though. I think that exonerates Edison in my mind. Stussy, I don't think Stussy is currently stabbed and being carried around. So that leaves, and Kaku got captured, right? Got put in bubble gun. That doesn't mean anything about Kaku necessarily, but you know, Kaku was also injured. Was injured. Could have been swapped while injured, right? So characters that were injured, Robin was injured, Kaku was injured. These two characters have a good shot at being potentially something or the other, just because if they're injured, that means that, you know, they're vulnerable for some period of time, right? Regal Voice, is anyone with the boots gonna fly? Shyam M says, Morge, could York be the imposter, i.e. the actual Katarina Devon is already captured by the Straw Hats and the real one is still roaming around and the world government can take her in to create more Mother Flames? I don't think with the reasoning you said. I think what you're saying is possible. I don't think because of that reasoning, though. Because there's no real reason for... Like, it seems as though Katarina Devon is... Everything that York has said so far seems very, very specifically... York-ish, like York knows what she's talking about, essentially, from everything that she's said so far. But that would only follow her being Katarina Devon if Katarina Devon essentially captured York, then forced York to divulge a bunch of information that would allow Katarina Devon to impersonate York, and then maybe Laffy took off with York, basically. And Katarina Devon's gonna escape later, and that was the Blackbeard Pirates master plan. I could see that. I think that's a really, really cool possibility. Let's put York in. We're running out of space here a little bit, but, you know, it is what it is. York might be part of BB Pirates' master plan. Real York stolen by Lafitte. It's a possibility. In terms of what I think is likely right now, I still think there's like a solid chance. I mean, there's a chance that that's the case. Because I do think it is more likely that the Blackbeard Pirates, like as we talked through the stream, I do believe now that it's more likely that the Blackbeard Pirates get away with York at the end of the day, rather than, I don't think the Straw Hats necessarily will get York at the end. Like, I think there has to be something kind of negative that comes out of this, but I don't think it's necessarily the world government getting access to infinite Mother Flames, because it's like, what's the world government can do? Lelucia Kingdom blasts, like, whenever it wants, then everyone's kind of fucked, right? So, I don't know. I feel like they need to be stalled at least a little bit till it's time for them to be defeated. Ramen Stains, thanks for the 5. Does Katarina's fruit only imitate looks? Does it also copy devil fruits or not? I think it's gotta only imitate looks, because if it can copy fruits, then it's just like... It's just the most powerful fruit, period, right? It's a fruit that can copy all other devil fruits. So I imagine it can't do that, right? So the mysterious did anyone... Somebody mentioned that there was a panel where Brooke's head was off. Can somebody point me to that panel? If that panel exists, then Brooke is likely vindicated as well. But otherwise, it's kind of crazy. Brooke has not said a word since... I mean, honestly, Oda gives Brooke little to no screen time as is, but Brooke really hasn't said anything in since they cut back from the overnight stint. It was 10:77 before the overnight time skip. Okay, so Brooke is pretty suspicious then. So York and S-Hawk are like the two outlier options, where it's like they're not among our cast of characters that we would expect to be at play, but you could technically assume that something could happen with them. Kaku, I think, is a solid possibility, because he's just been injured, right? We don't know what got him injured. They're not going to be guarding Kaku as carefully as they would guard like an injured Robin. So Kaku they could have swapped. Kaku's also, you also got to consider who could be captured, right? So like York could be captured, like Chopper could be captured, right? Kaku could be captured. Someone like Jinbei, they would have difficulty capturing him, right? Jinbei, they'd have difficulty capturing him. Stuff like that. Like, Kaku is capturable, in my opinion. Like, we don't know how strong Laffy is, but I feel I wouldn't be surprised if Laffy could take down Kaku or something like that if that was revealed. Yeah, Jinbei is just Jinbei and Brook. They just don't talk that much in general. This is one of the things with like diminishing returns in terms of number of Straw Hats. Like, there's just not that much dialogue to go around, so it's too difficult to say for sure like whether or not Jinbei is fishy, haha, or not. Somebody did make a good point that Katarina Devon was in prison with Jinbei for some period of time. Like, she's seen Jinbei for a minute, so she would know a little bit about his personality and be able to imitate. She wouldn't have to do much because he hasn't talked much so far. And then, yeah, Brook, there's just not, he doesn't do much as a character in general, so there's not that much that you would need to imitate there. Robin is the fun, interesting choice because Robin's the only one of the Straw Hats that was severely and mysteriously injured overnight. So there might be something there. We'll do some polls in a second to see what you guys have to think. Rachia, thanks for being a Yonko tier member for 15 months. Here's a thought. What if Devon's fruit lets her not only copy looks, but also memories? And she's the intel gatherer for Blackbeard? That would be insane. That changes everything. Because if she can copy memories, then suddenly, literally every character comes off the list. But it's... No, because if she can copy memories, I don't think she can copy memories. Because if she can copy memories, then you would never need to capture anybody, right? Like, they wouldn't need to capture Yorick. She could just... If it's a case where, like, you need to touch the character, and after that, kind of like a Mr. 2 situation, touch the character, then be able to turn into them. But it seems like the whole point is that this Devil Fruit doesn't require that aspect of it, you know? You can just turn into whatever. Because, again, if she can just copy memories, then she could just, like, they don't have to go anywhere. They could just sit on Hachinosu. Katarina Devon could turn into Vegapunk and get access to all of Vegapunk's knowledge, right? So, I don't think it's that. I don't think that's a little broken, right? Because then it's 2 fruits in 1. Because the Blackbeard Pirates also stole Pudding, right? So, Pudding's memory fruit seems to be very important for some reason for them down the line. If York can also copy memories, it invalidates Pudding's abilities to some degree. Deshaun Comedy, thanks for the 5. Do you think it's better for an MC to have their backstory at the start or for it to come a little later and be, oh, that's why he's like that moment? Main character is an interesting situation because it's like, it's different when it's like a main character. I feel like you kind of have to know them and understand them quite a bit to be able to like follow their journey and be right there with them. Like, you need to understand the character you're following, I feel. Luffy is the one exception, and even with Luffy, Oda did give him a backstory to begin with. It just wasn't the full backstory. You know what I mean? It was a 2-parter backstory. Like, there was 2 formative aspects of Luffy's life. One was the Shanks stuff. One was, after that, the Ace Sabo stuff, right? So even with Luffy, you couldn't just start One Piece with Luffy the way he is without that chapter 1. You need that chapter 1 to just establish something about him. Otherwise, you can't really connect with the character at all, right? I never really liked the Black Swordsman arc in Berserk. I think I appreciate it more on reread, but it was just something I just did not enjoy that arc. I dropped Berserk twice during the Black Swordsman arc before I finally got to read through past that, right? So I dropped it twice just trying to get through that arc. And I feel like part of the reason is that it just feels empty. Like, if you don't know anything about Berserk, then you could get the impression that it's just like this dark, edgy, violent manga, basically. But that is what it feels like initially reading the Black Swordsman arc, because I don't know anything about the main character, and he's kind of like standoffish and an asshole, and like I just don't know what, like I'm just reading him being haunted by things and killing things, and I'm just like, why do people say this manga is so good? Do they just like him killing monster things or whatever? So I think in general, I'm not going to say whether or not what Berserk did was right. like that route. I think it is better probably in the long term, but I do think that the opening arc can lose people. I think that you do, even then, it wasn't too long before we started getting Guts' backstory and started understanding Guts' story, right? So, yeah, I think no matter how you do it, I feel like you need to give the reader something to understand about the main character fairly early on, unless it's like a fucking, even fucking One Punch Man, a gag manga, right? Like, we got the opening bits, like understanding a little bit of how he became, like his initial motivations and stuff like that, right? Before he trained and became bald and all that. So I think you need to give the reader something main character wise. Then if you want to save more for later on, then that's its own. You can do that too, right? But I think you need to give him something to start with. Just going through all the series I can think of off the top of my head, and I'm like, yeah, I think you need something to start with, and then you can give him more later on. Anyway, Jacob says that's the intention. We were lost with Guts. Yeah, I get that. I get that that's like the goal, but did it make it enjoyable? For me, no. It made me want to drop the series, and I did a couple times before I got to actually the good stuff. I don't think it's bad, obviously. Like, I appreciate it now in retrospect. I'm just saying, for me as a reader that knows nothing, the series wasn't really hooking me early on, right? Again, you can appreciate it in retrospect, not initially enjoy it when you're starting off. Okay, let's talk about this. So, we're going to say no to Lilith. I think Sanji just doesn't fit. Right? Like, because he was able to sense where Bonnie was. He was able to sense where Bonnie was fairly well. You could say that's just Katarina Devon's observation hockey if she has it, but it's like, it's pretty good observation hockey. I mean, to me, the suspects, like, if I go with like the traditional suspects, like out of the cast of characters that we think make sense, right? It's like Chopper, Kaku, Jinbei, Robin, Brook. And then if we want to throw in like wild cards, then York and S Hawk are in there. So I'm gonna say this, like, let's do this. Let's do the main options first. Aiden Capristo saying, "Whoa, that's such a cool poster." Aiden Capristo is the artist of that poster back there. You can get the poster on the Mord store, or you can get it in puzzle form, in either 500 pieces or 1,000 pieces. So everyone shouts to Aiden Capristo for the artwork back there. It's genuinely, I think, one of the only artworks I've seen in One Piece that has that number of characters, like, all together. Like, the majority of the main characters in the series. Alright, who is most likely? I'm gonna do the top 4. Kaku, Jinbei, Robin, Brook. It's Sukuna. I finally got to watch Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. I think the animation was insane for all of that. Absolutely fucking insane. It's looking like Robin. But yeah, I think that, and I think they really, really improved a lot of the Shibuya. Like, the Shibuya incident is really good in the manga. It's really, really good in the manga. But even random stuff like certain... Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, I think. But there's things that hit harder in the anime for sure for me than even in the manga. And I thought the manga was really good. Okay, so overwhelming amount of people... Well, 50% of people just about think that it's Robin. And then it's pretty evenly split after that. Again, Jinbei and Brook, it's just like, they don't fucking say anything. Robin, yeah. I think Robin's a good shot. We thought Robin was a good shot when we began this stream. I think after going through all of these characters, Robin remains like a pretty likely pick. I was waiting to see if there's something that basically would exonerate her. The way that, there's certain smoking guns, or reverse smoking guns, I suppose, for... characters like Usopp, like liking Elbaf. But Robin, there really was nothing. The only thing that she had was that she was very, very smart about the way that... she was just smart about how to negotiate with Saturn. But you could argue that literally any somewhat experienced pirate would be able to do that against Saturn. Or, like, in that situation, better than the Straw Hat Pirates. And at least better than Luffy, you know? So, that could just be Katarina Devon being smart. One of the other reasons I like the idea of Katarina Devon being Robin is that if you go back, like I've talked about Blackbeard Pirate matchups before, one that I always really liked was the idea of Robin fighting Katarina Devon as her final matchup. Just because the contrast in abilities is really good. Because Robin's got, like, they're both two very versatile physical body changing abilities, if that makes sense. Like Robin can sprout a lot of arms, turn giant, create giant forms and such to try and capture or smash her opponents, etc. But Katarina Devon can keep shape-shifting into different things. So I always really liked that matchup. I think when we did the stream for that, you guys made me vote, or you guys pushed me over to believing that maybe Nami gets Katarina Devon, but in my heart, I always believed that it was Robin that made sense against her. Partly because, like, Katarina Devon is known as, like, the worst woman in history or something like that, and, like, Robin's also kind of known as the worst woman in history, so I don't know. Interesting stuff there. But is it Robin or not? I don't know. Because, like, again, it's the injuries. That's the big question mark. Sabas says Robin also does nothing every arc, so this will also just be typical Oda. I do think that this also exposes, like, this discussion does just expose kind of a problem with the way shit has gone with too many characters and too many Straw Hats and, like, too many side characters, which is, like, these three characters, Jinbei, Robin, and Brook, stand out as most suspicious, largely because they have very little dialogue to go off of, but at the same time, these are also the three characters that generally just have the least amount of dialogue and speaking time, right? And screen time and relevance, right? So it's not that crazy, right? It's kind of just like them being written normally is in itself such little writing to go around that it also almost makes it suspicious. Like, could they be imposters? Like, sure, we fucking have no way to know, you know? Frankie would also usually be thrown into this category, but Frankie, he's at least had a bit more dialogue in Egghead than usual, just because he knows how machines work, right? Not meaningful dialogue, but just like, you know, like talking about how certain engineering shit works. Sleeping Danger says, if you aren't Monster Trio, you don't matter. I think that the story has unfortunately shifted gently towards that direction over time. I think it has shifted gently in that direction over time. Again, that's why I always Whole Cake, in my opinion, before Egghead was always my favorite arc post time skip, just because it's the arc that was most character focused for the Straw Hats, and not just for Sanji. Egghead Island is really, really good for Nami. Like, that was the first arc in a long time that we got Luffy, Nami, that dynamic front and center in the story, in a long, long, long ass time, right? Like, the last time was, like, if you go back to Skypiea, Water 7, Enies Lobby, that dynamic was really, really fundamental to the story. Like, it was a big part of it. Like, in fact, like, Nami was always playing big roles. Like, even the very next arc, Thriller Bark, huge part of it is just saving Nami. Like, that was one of their main motivations to get back to the island, right? She's always playing a big role, and usually in contrast with Luffy. But Whole Cake Island was the first time that we really just got, like, a whole segment of the story devoted to that dynamic carrying the story, right? Everyone knows Whole Cake was also good for Brook. It was low-key good for Chopper as well, because it was the first time that Chopper really was acting on his own and doing things on his own, confidently and bravely. Not like Skypiea, where he's, like, learning how to do it. Whole Cake was very confident, taking charge, making plans, Chopper. And then Sanji, obviously good writing for Sanji and Whole Cake Island. So, like, Whole Cake Island, I feel like, was the arc that really, really got to focus on the Straw Hats as characters. Shame it was only part of the crew, like half of the crew. But I would love to see that again more in the final saga and going forward. Ignorant Weed, thanks for the 5. I recently watched King Recon Reverie. Oh, King Recon's Reverie. Yeah, that was a fun one. I really liked that one because we got to do the games and stuff. I think were a really good idea just to get everybody involved. Straw Hats tier list, and I really love your take on Luffy, how he's written like a concept of freedom. GG. Yeah, I mean, that's what Luffy is. And I understand, like, because there was opinions in that Reverie that some people are like, well, Luffy's obviously S tier as a character, and then some people are like, no, we prefer more, growth or change in characters over time, right? And that's a fair view as well. Like Luffy's not he's not a human character, right? Like he's not like you never even hear his thoughts, period, right? He's not as meticulously fleshed out or nuanced or real as many other main characters. So it depends what you want, but he does represent the flip side of just being an archetype, of being a concept, like just a vehicle for the concept of freedom, I think. And it works both ways. Like it depends what you value in a character. For me, Luffy's an S tier character. I can understand why some people prefer other types of main characters to Luffy, but I do think it's really hard to enjoy the story of One Piece without really enjoying at least what Luffy represents to a degree. Luffy's head empty, just vibes to Sleeping Danger. Yeah, kind of. Halsey says it's still the best in my opinion. Whole Cake, let's let Egghead's story play out. For me right now, like, I think coming right off of Kuma's backstory, I was placing Egghead above Sabaody and stuff. I think I got to reread Egghead, which for me would also be above Whole Cake Island. I had Sabaody as like a top 5 or 6 arc in One Piece. I think I got to reread Egghead. I might have just been jumping to too much. It's like Kuma's backstory those days. Like sometimes all you need is like a really fucking good backstory if it's a short arc to. Although Egghead's coming up on probably like 50 chapters, so can't really fall into that category soon anymore. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to say. Like Drum Kingdom, it's like a decent, fun, charming little arc for the most part, but it's the Chopper backstory that's really centering it. That elevates it to one of my favorite arcs. Egghead might be kind of the same way, but let's see the way the rest of the plot of it kind of plays out. Because at the same time, like Egghead does have, it's hard to. It's just like Egghead's like a hard arc to place because it does carry so many of the flaws, in my opinion, of at least what I don't like as much recently, which is one, extreme lack of focus on the Straw Hats. Like even if I were to compare to something again like Drum Kingdom had great little moments for the Straw Hats, like for each one of the Straw Hats. Like Nami, just the way that she acted throughout that, like trying to power through her sickness, etc. She was pivotal to like a lot of the emotion of Drum Kingdom arc. Sanji had a great moment in Drum Kingdom, like basically sacrificing himself to save the crew. Luffy, obviously, carrying the crew on his back all the way up to the tower. Usopp had a great moment offering to carry Dalton after being so scared throughout the entire arc. Like, Usopp's like, I'll carry you all the way up the mountain. Yeah, just across the board. And it was very good for Vivi as well. Like, Egghead's not like that, right? Egghead's just, it's a nothing arc for the main characters, which isn't a flaw of the arc. It's just something that I guess it's just another arc that's not about the Straw Hats. But then Egghead also has certain things which is just like certain sections of the arc that are just weirdly included or tacked on, or like there's clearly too many Vegapunks no matter how you spin it. We got this little murder mystery storyline that not this imposter one, the one where we're trying to figure out which Vegapunk is the traitor. Like we found out York is the traitor, right? That storyline which dragged for like 5-6 chapters. It's just got some weird shit in the middle and a lot of extraneous fluff, but the Kuma Bonnie heart of it is so strong. And then at the same time, there's so much epic shit mixed in. Like some of the hypest moments in all of One Piece, like the Hachinosu raid, the Shanks kid stuff, the Reverie stuff with Imu. So Egghead Island is like one of those, you know? It's hard to. I'm gonna have to read the whole thing to be like, where do I really personally place it among my favorites? Like people say Wano is an arc of like highs and lows. I think that is extremely over crediting Wano in my opinion, because I'm like, I can think of like a handful of highs in 150 plus chapter arc. Like there were like a few highs, yeah, 1 or 2 even all-time great highs with like Gear 5th, but it's like the majority of the arc was not that. I don't view Wano as an arc of highs and lows. I view it as an arc of a lot of low with a few really, really high iconic peaks, basically. So I guess that's an arc of highs and lows, but to me that phrasing is kind of like, oh, it's like a mixed bag, when it's like, no, if you reach into that bag, in any given chapter, you pull it out, you kind of know what you're getting, which is not going to be that good. You're not, like, it's technically a mixed bag, right? But you know what the bag is mostly made of. Egghead Island I view as kind of the opposite, where it's like, it's got so much gold, and then like some little sections that are just like parts of it that are like, eh. But I think Egghead overall, if I really had to think back through it, I feel like by the time it ends, depending on how the Saturn stuff concludes, I feel like it would still, it's still probably gonna end up at least top 10 favorite arcs for me. Very, very good shot at like top 5 favorite arcs. I don't think it cracks like my top 3 or 4, because my top 4 has been for some time now Annie Slobby / Water 7, count that as one, Marineford, uh, Alabasta, Arlong Park. I think Egghead could be number 5 for me personally. Alright. Sleeping Danger, thanks a lot. Who's the most human? Goku, Luffy, Naruto, or Ichigo? I mean, Luffy and Goku are off that list. Like, Luffy and Goku are off that list. They're just off. I do think that, like, Luffy is written more humanly, ultimately, even than Goku, just because, like, One Piece as a series does end up delving into a bit more raw stuff for Luffy as a person, like his wants, needs, desires, more than Goku. Goku, it's always like, even when Goku's most dramatic moments are probably something like Krillin dying and him getting mad at Frieza, right? But Luffy, like, it's not close to like Luffy's breakdown post Marineford or anything like that. Or like we understand much more about Luffy as a person and the depth of his character than we do Goku. But ultimately, Luffy is still written, again, more like an archetype than something like... I think Naruto is the most humanly written character, I suppose, right? Ichigo, I've always felt, is a relatively one-note character. You kind of put Ichigo in any situation, you kind of know what his reaction... Like, I feel like he's got a very limited range of emotions, personally, and limited range of little conflicts that he's given and reactions to that. Like, a lot of it's just getting angry, or being confused by something, or stunned, or getting angry, or saying he'll kick someone's... Like, I just don't feel like there's a ton... Like, we never really get any deep breakdowns into Ichigo, I don't think, over the course of the series that I can remember. Naruto, I really do think is, like, a fairly human character, and, like, there's a lot of growth that the character goes to. Again, I really don't like where the character of Naruto ended up. I got a lot of issues with the series of Naruto, the directions that it ended up going overall. And I don't think I necessarily love, like, Naruto's solution to everything being fist bump. Like, if we can bump fist, then we're gonna be cool, right? But the character does, like, the growth that you see from the character as a kid all the way to the end of the series, a lot of the things that he experiences, the internal thoughts and processes that he goes through, it is very, like, much like a vulnerable human person, right? Muhammad Ali says we get a lot of good character development for Ichigo during Thousand Year Blood War. I must not be I fucking rewatch. Are you talking about? Does it come up soon, like in the following, like arcs or something like that? Because it's certainly not fucking in the the 2 seasons that have come out so far. Yeah, I do think that, like, Naruto's. It's kind of fun. I think among those 4 characters, I think Naruto is clearly the most humanly written character out of them. Jamari Cruz with a great point. Has anyone noticed that Mihawk and Boa's Seraphim were introduced at the same time, foreshadowing that Mihawk and Boa are siblings and their parents are Rayleigh? Yeah, that's a great point. That makes 100% sense. Mihawk and Boa being siblings, I think I've never heard that one before. Thai Sen NJ says Naruto had a real anime depiction of a panic attack. You know what's so fun? I swear, like, it just pops up randomly on, like, like once in a blue moon, you'll just see people posting on Twitter or something like that, of all things, like, oh my god, this cartoon has the most real depiction of a panic attack ever. It'll just be, I don't know, some shit, like, I don't know why I find it so funny that, like, I probably shouldn't laugh. I shouldn't. I know that that's shit's important to people or whatever. I swear, like I feel like the way people talk on the internet though sometimes it's kind of like I feel like everybody acts as though oh yeah we've all experienced like panic attacks or like debilitating anxiety or something, and it's like isn't that shit that it affect like actual diagnosed like anxiety or whatever? Isn't that something that affects like 2% of people or something like that? And like panic attacks, like I feel like once in a while like somebody has like a moment where they're like really scared or like in a stressful situation, and then like people are like oh my god like a panic attack. Like, I don't know. I feel like people overblow a lot of things. Not to say like a lot of people don't suffer from these things, but I think that I don't know. It's just like the amount of people I see gushing over something like, "Oh, this cartoon did a panic attack perfectly." I'm like, how the fuck do you even know what like a panic attack is like? Like, there's no way like 100K people liking this post know what a panic attack is like. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents on it. But I don't know. I also don't know why like people are obsessed with like so happy to see like panic attacks being properly represented in cartoons. I just don't get it. All right. Puss in Boots clears for showing the best panic attack. Like, why is that even? Why are we ranking like panic attack depictions? All right. Sleeping Dangerous says you should rank the Unleashed videos. But then that would require like watching all of them because some of them are like low-key really entertaining, but you don't remember it right off the bat from the title. You have to go through it a little bit, and then you find out why it's entertaining. I don't know. Andrea Anami says being overwhelmed isn't a panic attack law. Yeah, it's like we've all been in a situation where it's like you show up to school and you forgot to I don't know do a presentation at home or something, and so now you have to present in front of people, and now you don't have anything to present because you didn't do your homework. So like fuck, this is an awkward, stressful situation to be in. It's like I don't know, like that's not a. I swear, like people really want to like they got a chip on their shoulder about like being able to say oh, I have anxiety, I have panic attacks, I have this stuff. It's like, shut up. You probably don't. All right. Rhett Donaldson says, I don't think that's super unfathomable in a world with a population of almost 8 billion people. Yeah, but I'm talking about, like, the number of people actually seeing a post is, like, less than a fraction of a fraction of a fraction than that, you know? Like, just in general, what, like, you know, like, the number of people you'll see like liking some really popular it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna break down like what seems reasonable for like certain amounts of Twitter likes for certain things. Anyway, Roger Cam says next stream we can do a panic attack tier list right after the OP opening tier list. Okay, I will watch the One Piece opening next stream because I was already planning on watching Monsters next stream, so I can throw in the One Piece opening as well. So we can do both. Yeah, we can do both. And yeah, we got a chapter this week, so there will be a Thursday stream again. All right, guys. All right. We're going to call it here. Thank you all for tuning in. Did we solve the mystery? Probably not. But we did like Robin. So if Robin turns out to be, you know, the imposter, then we can all pat ourselves on the back. If not Robin, we'll just never speak of this stream again. Let me do one last poll. We should have done this at the beginning, but I was worried that it would kill a lot of the excitement for trying to solve the murder, right? So let's just declare that there is a bad guy in the midst and work from there. Is probably the better way to do it. But I'm curious how many people do actually believe that Katarina Devon is impersonating someone right now. It's pretty tight. Pretty tight. Red Donaldson says, great stream, Morge, gotta be Robin. I'm not gonna say it's gotta be Robin, but I do think I would be very surprised if it's one of the ones that we like have up here where we feel like we've got a decent amount of data to say it's unlikely. Also, I don't know why I ranked it more so. This is not an official ranking. It's kind of like sure, Robin probably more likely than Brooke. You know, like it's just a general vague direction of like not likely, heading towards likely. You know, it's not officially ranked or anything. But I don't know why we did it this way and not reversed. You'd expect more likely towards the top, right? All right, so it seems like we're about 50-50 split. I'll give it 5 seconds, but, you know, results are the results. It's about 50-50, however you slice it. All right, guys. Oh, about 51% said no. So I wonder what that 51% was thinking throughout this stream. But thanks for tuning in, everybody. And again, we got a chapter finally again this week. So I will talk to you all then. Yeah.